There it is. We're live.
And we are live. Game Player episode 88. If that's not a bombshell episode, I don't know what is. Let
You
me.
jinx it.
Oh no. Oh no. Viper. Viper comment. Oh, dead. I died. Okay, going back to it. How long has it been since we have done a show? Let me tweet it out first. 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
I think it's been more like two.
It's insane. Real talk. There was topics ahead. One time it was there wasn't, but like people couldn't make it, so we couldn't do a show. But we're here now, and we have a lot, and I mean it, a lot to say. Going from rants to uh, to laughing at an incompetent person. We have it all. But hey, before we do so, I'm curious what people are playing. Let's hear it from Morgan. What are you playing, lady?
Well, I recently got the platinum for Sea of Stars. Great game,
Congrats.
fun game. Definitely in my top five for this year. Really good experience.
Congrats.
If you haven't played it, thank you.
Oh,
If you
over
haven't played
Octopath?
it, no, not over Octopath, no.
Not over
But
Octopath?
it's still good. Yeah,
It's still
Octopath's the number
good.
one for me. But yeah, if you haven't played it, it's on PS Plus, it's on Game Pass, so give it a try. Really
On
great
Switch.
game. Really,
It's
yeah, really
everywhere.
great turn-based game. Really good experience, really good story, characters, everything. Um, Also been playing The Expanse, which is the Telltale game. Um, I finished the first four episodes. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. The fifth episode just came out a couple days ago, but I haven't played it yet. But I'm planning on getting the platinum for that. I've got all the trophies for all the episodes so far, so I think this is the last. I think this is the last one. Maybe there's one more, but
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a bonus episode, I think, end of year.
Okay,
But you have to
got
get
you.
get the premium edition or whatever it's called, which I
Yeah,
missed because I didn't see it on the store. So
yeah. That's
uh,
weird because
basically, it's five.
same.
Yeah, it's €5
Yeah,
more
same.
expensive. So I hope you can get
Yeah,
it like separately.
me too. Because yeah, I was the same way. Like I didn't see it. I don't know why it was weird the way they had it on the layout on the PlayStation Store. Like it didn't even show it really. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to see if I can get that the premium. Um, but yeah, that's good. I've been enjoying that. And now I've been going back and playing Cyberpunk. I've downloaded the 2.0 update. It's working pretty good. There's still a couple bugs going on here and there. Like sometimes my car won't come when I call it. Like, but I just have to like go to the main menu and go right back, and it works. Like just like small stuff, but it's nothing like big or game breaking. But it looks and plays so differently. Like they did a massive overhaul with like the skill trees and way you can upgrade and it like really good quality of life, things that, we had complaints about in the base game. Oh, this doesn't work well or it's too much. You need to condense it down a little bit and they've really taken the feedback from the players and they've really just made what feels like almost like a completely different game and it just plays so much better. I like the perks system. Like I like the the bottom perks that I've gotten so far. It's a lot easier to earn money in the game now.
Yeah, they
The
did a much
enemies
better
when
job.
yeah, much better job to uh the enemies when you kill them. It used to in the base game like they'd have like seven items on them and most of them will be like useless. And if you know anything about a CD Project Red game, you're gonna be overloaded with items and it weighs you down and you can items on you. So it would get to be a lot. But now they've kind of condensed it so that the enemies really only carry one or two things. They only drop one or two things when they die this time, and they're most of the time useful. It's like money and like a nice weapon or something. So I like that. They've upgraded the cars now so that now the cars themselves have like missile launchers on them or giant guns on them. Um, they've actually made the your cyberware a lot more to be a lot more important in the game. Like, of course, it's cyberpunk, so it's always important, but it seems like they put a lot more forefront into like the net running and your cyberware and how it affects you, um, and how it affects your play style. Like the different types of play styles you can have now are way more expansive, and your choices of cyberware are way more important to how your play style is in the game. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the update, really good. And then the DLC comes out in like 3 days, I think. Yeah, like 2 or 3 days. So I'm definitely getting that. We'll be enjoying that when that comes out. Can't wait. Idris Elba is going to be starring in that, so it should be good. The reviews have come out. They've all said it's really good. He does a really good job playing the new protagonist character. So yeah, I'm enjoying Cyberpunk. So like this is my my like fourth playthrough. So I've always enjoyed Cyberpunk, but I'm enjoying it a lot more after this update. But
Mm-hmm. Are
yeah,
you gonna start from the beginning, or you gonna continue?
yeah. Well, because they honestly because they did a complete overhaul of the skill tree and the way your skill points affect your character. The smart thing to do is to start over because if you did play the DLC from like a old save file, all your skill points you still have them, but you have to reassign them to what you want because they basically reworked the skill tree, so you'd have to reassign everything in it. I'd rather just work up from the beginning, start over from scratch with this new update, and build the character that I want from their new skill tree. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I see you. I see you. I see you. By the way, congrats on the plat for Sea of Stars.
thank
Yeah,
you.
she
Uh,
was first, by the way, out of everybody on Twitter that we all
I don't know about
follow.
that, but
I
is
said
it
that we follow.
is it fair to say now she is a JRPG fanatic? Cause
I
she's
don't know about
playing more
fanatic yet,
games than most people. JRPGs
but
nonetheless.
but I'm definitely trying to get there. Definitely because of you guys, I have been more open to trying new games, and JRPGs are fairly new to me. Like this is the first generation where I kind of like expanded my taste in gaming, and you guys are helping me out, telling me which JRPGs to pick, and oh, I think you like this based on what you liked, and I'm really enjoying it, especially turn based. It's something newer for me, and it's like really
Was it
refreshing. And
always scary, like to jump in?
no, I wouldn't say scary. It's just it was just always something I just didn't really take notice in or didn't really have interest in. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
JRPGs are just not my thing. I would watch it and be like, this kind of seems boring to me. But now that I actually tried it and played it, I'm like, oh, I really like this. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, even without you guys telling me, I'm like looking at new game announcements and JRPGs, and I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting, or oh, I would like that, or oh, I think I'm gonna try this. Let me ask them what they think about it. Like, but yeah, definitely plan on playing even more, especially if it's turn based. Um, but
But
I'm
now you
So
see though, after you've played, now you pick out the nuances in games you haven't even played yet, where you're like, oh, I like
yeah,
that system. Oh, that's similar to the system I like in this game. And now you
hmm
understand when we say people who haven't played it wouldn't understand why we find it so
yeah.
exciting.
Because when I first saw Sea of Stars, I think it was like I want to say like a year ago. I was like, oh, I think I'd like this. Like, I was like, ooh, one, it's pixelated. I love me some pixel art games. And I was like, oh, and it's turn based. I was like, okay. and it just looked, I love the art style, I love the combat, it looked like it was gonna be like a good, story. So I was just like, yeah, let me jump on that. And that's just all because, I've been playing more JRPGs lately and, expanding my portfolio. So now I can just like look at stuff and I'm like, all right, I think that's gonna be something I'm gonna enjoy. And that definitely, Sea of Stars definitely scratched that itch for me. I was like, I was ready, I was excited for the game, and I was gonna play it day one, but seeing it, like actually playing it, I was just like, okay, yeah, it definitely exceeded my expectations. And
Mhm.
and yeah, I think about an hour into the game, I was like, this is definitely gonna be a game I'm gonna platinum. Usually within the first
So,
hour, I could tell whether I'm gonna platinum a game or not, and yeah, it was definitely immediately. I was like, I'm gonna platinum this game.
so knowing for a fact now you're gonna play a
Eden Chronicles and
the
100 Heroes.
yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's the game. Yeah, that Innate showed me, and I was just like, oh, okay. I like the 2D art on the three-dimensional environment background. Like I like how that looks. That's really cool. And I was like, he showed me the video and the combat, and I was just like, all right, yeah, this is gonna be the
Yeah,
next.
I
This is
found
gonna be the
some
next one for
extra
me.
gameplay that they hadn't really shown that we were looking at, and it
Yeah,
looked
you know,
crazy.
y'all are taking me on this JRPG journey, and I appreciate it. Y'all my out here. I have to defer to you guys, but yeah, I'm loving it so far.
But
I
was
really
was the
haven't
flat
played.
art for Sea of Stars?
No, no, it wasn't. It was just just getting the collectibles is a little tedious to just kind of find where they are. But other than that, like it was a really easy plat. Like you know.
The only thing, like, I feel you. It's just I'm terrible with finding chests. That's
Yeah,
my biggest
I
weakness.
think
I would rather have
the
a difficult boss to fight than finding chests. That's my opinion.
I feel you because that stuff's tedious, and I think the easiest way for me to do it was to use both the parrot, because the parrot tells you
The parrot
there's
is
like
so random. Also,
yeah,
he tell
yeah,
you
it is
certain areas that don't even either exist or it's not the name that you need. So there is
like
also another that mistake.
well, you just have to highlight the island that you're
Yeah,
currently searching on, and he'll kind of he'll tell you if there's a chest there or a conch there or whatever on that
I am
island,
very
and
close. Like
then
I have five
yeah,
chests maximum to find, but
yeah.
we'll see.
And it's like I'll use the parrot to kind of show me which islands I still have collectibles on. And if I can't find it, then I'll just get like a guide and I'll be like, and it's always in
Mm-hmm.
some place that I'm like, I skipped over. Like I felt I combed over 6 times, and it'll be like, oh, it was behind the tree, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, but yeah, just like use the parrot and then use a guide to just kind of narrow haven't searched,
I feel you.
and yeah, just do it that way.
Um, Weeb, how are you? What you been playing?
I'm good. I've been playing Saints Row for some reason. Uh,
Ooh.
Oh,
what? Yeah, I mean, I
go
started
ahead,
playing it,
share.
and I kind of like it. So I figured
Okay,
let's
okay.
I see
try
you.
to finish it and get the plat, and then move on to the next game.
Which
It's not
Saints
as bad
Row?
as people made it out to be. I mean, it's basically just Saints Row. It's just they dial it back to sort of like the earlier games, but with
Oh,
silly humor, and it it's fine. I guess I can imagine that it probably failed because it doesn't do much different from previous games, and it's just it's a reboot, so with a different crew,
Yeah.
which is yeah. I mean, I don't like them as much as I did the crew from the original game. So yeah, I can
Mm,
see why people might not like it, but purely from the fun aspect and the gameplay, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. So I think we're just gonna finish this and plat it, and then Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that the latest episodes of The Expanse came out, Morgan, because
Mhm.
I also have to get back on that. So I'll
Yeah.
probably do that after this, and then maybe finally Baldur's Gate 3, if it's not Spider-Man.
Oh,
Woot
yes,
woot.
yes, yes. I have to find some time to fit that in. I think I'm gonna have to do it after Spider-Man and Alan Wake,
You
Yeah,
have it?
because it's this whole big
No, we
thing.
were gonna get it.
Yeah, but then I was like, wait a minute, because I want to play Assassin's Creed Mirage, and that comes out. Cyberpunk's in a couple days, then Assassin's Creed, then Spider-Man, then Alan Wake 2. So I'm gonna have to do
it's
those games.
insane.
I
It's
It's
feel
so
insane.
you.
much.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't play it yet. One, because
Hmm.
I'm flying. Two, because 5D is on its way. Just get that out
Hmm.
of the way. Then there is also Assassin's Creed Mirage. When is that coming?
October 5th.
That's October 5th. So
Okay.
right in around the corner, a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's
that's
there's a
another
lot.
game.
There's a
Insane,
lot going
man.
on.
It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
they
like we
just
we wanted to
barrage
start
all
it,
these
but
games right at this like small 30-day window. I was just like, Jesus.
what's crazy is this onslaught is happening, and then if you're in whatever you're not finished with next year, you're kind of screwed because literally the first 2 months of next year are
Yeah,
already packed.
2024 is crazy.
Yeah,
You
with
got
shit that
Helldivers
got
2, you
delayed.
got Final Fantasy. There was something else coming out. I can't recall. There's like three games in
Yeah,
like
Grand
January,
Blue Fantasy
February.
Relink,
Yeah, Grand
and
Blue
then
Fantasy. Yeah.
slightly further in April, Euden Chronicles, but still April is
Uh,
still pretty
uh,
close
and
with all
Nice.
and
that.
January, Like a Dragon, Infinite.
Yes, like a
Yeah, there you go.
dragon.
Like a Dragon is the one they pushed to January. There you go.
It's oh my
Like,
goodness, it's
Yeah,
just so much.
how are
that's
we
going to
gonna
be my go-to.
survive? How
Hmm.
are we gonna survive? That's insane. That's too much.
I keep buying games. Like yesterday, I got like I opened my mailbox and I was like, wait, what did I order? Like
It's
it turned
bad
out
when
was
you ask. Wait, what?
yeah
What did I buy?
what was Pikmin 1 and 2. I pre-ordered ages ago. Like, oh yeah, I did pre-order that.
Yeah, you're even a worse spot because you play like you're probably the one other person that plays. I would say play more games, but they would just play different games. So it's like when you order stuff like Pikmin 1 and 2, like I'm playing like three random obscure PC games that nobody else is playing, like stuff like that. So it's like we're always playing all these other games on top of the games everyone else is playing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And I kind of made myself sort of because since I have the Steam Deck, like I've turned it into an emulation machine, and I have so many classic games that I still want to get around to playing. Like I don't know where I can find the time. It's
Well, that was
insane.
the other
It's
thing.
so crazy.
I set up my PS2 emulator and downloaded Gladius and Ring of Red, which are two of my favorites from that generation, as well as Tokyo Extreme
Oh
Racer
man.
Zero. And they look insane for the record. Like the upscaling tech on the PS2 emulator is nuts. To make it like HD and 16 by 9 and so on, it looks crazy. And then I also downloaded a game you can't get anywhere else that a bunch of people didn't even know existed when I posted about it, which is the Zone of the Enders tactical Game Boy Advance game.
Oh,
uh,
not Game Boy Advance. Oh
yeah,
no.
Game Boy Advance, and it's still freaking awesome. So I was playing
I
that too.
yeah I still want to try and see if I can play Robotrek this year. So that's the one from Quintet, the studio that made Terra Enigma, my favorite game of all time.
Hmm.
And that's their turn-based JRPG, and it from what I've played already, it is going to be one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, gotta
Nice.
find the time to play it.
What is it? Wait, what era is this game from that you're talking about?
1994. It's
Oh,
from
okay, so
an SNES game.
it's during
Yeah,
the height of the golden
yeah, yeah,
era.
yeah.
Got you. No, no doubt.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes, Omar, you can go ahead.
Nate, how are you? What you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been, man, playing quite a few things, but obviously in the interim that we haven't been on, I've beaten and almost 100%ed Starfield. Um, so I had about 4 days
Congratulations, and
in
I
that.
feel sorry for you.
No,
Oh,
no, it's all good.
how many achievements do you have, or do you have left?
Honestly,
Do you
it's like
know?
I think it's like three. Like it's like nothing.
Ooh.
It's like collect 500 organic, inorganic, and then collect like one other silly trophy. It's like it's super easy. Like it's just they
Mhm.
made some of them tedious because the one where you have to gather
Right.
500 organic or inorganic, it's not just pick stuff up or mine stuff. It's like mine 500 iron specifically or mine 500 still specifically. Like it wants you to mine one thing. So I was like, this is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen somebody do to a trophy like that or an achievement. Like I was like, why would you do that? But yeah, so I mean, I've essentially experienced a lot of people out here capping, talking about, you can't experience the game like that. You're gonna have to play it hundreds and hundreds of times, and sometimes I'm just out in the wilderness and floating in stars, and I just spent the whole day floating in the stars, and I'm like, bro, stop lying. Like I've done everything you can in this game. Um, I've built bases, I've linked bases, I've played all of the major scenarios. I've played all of the factions. Um, Now, I will admit, somebody did, give their rating, which they still gave it an 8, and people were crying about it. But they admitted they hadn't finished the factions, and that's definitely something you got to do before you, fully put out a judgment. But I mean, at the same time, like I said, the person gave it an 8, and I don't think what's left is going to drastically change their mind. Um, but yeah, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I built, I mean, people can see on my timeline, I built an incredibly massive ship from scratch that literally just demolishes entire fleets automatically. Uh, because it has a set of what they call obliterator auto turrets, which are basically some of the best turrets you can get in the game, and they literally fire automatically when hostiles get in range, and it's insane and it's awesome. So yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun on that. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a solid 8 um, for me. The game has lots of room for improvement. Bethesda's paying attention, which I like. Um, so I'm looking forward to the quality of life improvements and things like that going forward. And seeing what they do with the first DLC. Hopefully, they really take it seriously, really put a major team on it, and take DLC as seriously as a company like CD Projekt Red usually does. A la Blood and Wine and stuff like that from The Witcher 3. So um, we'll see where
Wait,
that
hold
goes.
up. An 8, so it's not the best thing ever since sliced bread?
You said what?
It's an 8, it's
It's not
not
the
the
best
best
thing
thing
since
ever
sliced
since
bread.
sliced bread?
No, no, no. It's not game of the generation. It's honestly not even game of the year. Uh,
Mm.
I mean,
Oh God.
I'm sure it
Oh
is for,
Tony.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure it is for somebody. And that's me playing it maxed out on PC, you know, over 100 FPS. Um, but yeah, I definitely ran into some issues, some crashes, especially, day 1 through 3 of early
Mm.
access. And unlike some people, I actually own the game. So I bought the
Oh
hundred
man.
dollar edition, premium.
Twice.
Yeah, basically, yeah, twice. So
Why?
because it's on Priscilla's PC too, on her Steam
Ah,
account.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we own it twice. Um, but yeah, I was playing
Mm-hmm.
that, and then honestly, I've been playing. Obviously, when I went back to Cyberpunk, we all started that the other night. So me, Morgan, and Priscilla were all playing Cyberpunk like crazy until about 5 o'clock in the morning, um, which has been awesome.
Mhm.
The game is amazing, and like I said, her telling people to start over is perfect because it's not just that they revamped this or that or just a skill tree or that. They revamped literally everything, including the loot system
Yeah.
and how that works. So a lot of the loot is much more meaningful. Um, you know, a lot of the iconic weapons, which are legendaries, feel much more powerful. Like their traits shine a lot more. They really stick out in comparison to normal weapons. Like it's a very very big deal. Like there's so much that's different uh, in the game, and the way everything is laid out. It's honestly worth another full playthrough. So I'm excited for that to jump back into that and just enjoying my time with that. And then also, I've been playing another game in the meantime that I played a little while back on Game Pass at one point because I had never gotten to try it. But I like it on PC. It's more of a PC game to me. The controls is a game called Rift Breaker, um, which I downloaded to just kind of in between, while I was done with Starfield and didn't really know what to play in the meantime before the 2.0 update came out. And it's been fun jumping back into that. It's just like it's weird to explain because it's not really, I mean, it's an RTS, but you only control one unit. Everything else is about base building and, kind of taking over the area that you're in and securing the area for like mining and minerals and stuff like that. But the game is graphically one of the most insane looking things I've ever seen, especially if you can play it on PC and really max it out. Um, so that
Which game is
Rift Breaker.
Rift Breaker?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's some stuff that came out of left field. Like the only reason I even knew about it is because I seen it on the top of Game Pass a while back. Like I mean, like a year ago, and I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. Like it gave me that RTS itch to scratch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the game looks, like I said, looks phenomenal. Like, I mean, cutting blades of grass and stuff, and the grass like dissipates into a bunch of particles and stuff. Like, the game is just like a graphical powerhouse. Um, but
What are you doing to me and Nate?
oh,
Yeah,
you're over
marketing
here
right
looking at
now.
it.
So, is it fair for me
He's like,
to
man, I already said I had to
remind
be
me,
in.
hmm
remind myself with Alien Isolation?
Oh, you're talking about, is it like that the new one that came out, the new Alien,
Not
where
Alien, not Alien, not Alien, not Alien. From the Helldiver. Sorry, Helldiver. First one.
no, I mean it has an isometric view, but it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it's more focused on building.
yeah, it's you're the individual. You're focused on building and upgrading your personal mech. So the mech that she's in gets stronger, and
Yeah,
you're
I'm watching the
constantly
gameplay
talking.
right now.
Yeah, you're constantly talking. She's talking to it all the time. The mech is an AI, and the mech can also, as you build up your base, your mech can also become stronger. So you can go
Okay.
out and venture farther, and he can do more on his own, um, rather than just depending on the base for full defense. But you build up and you prepare for waves and waves of attacks, eventually to clear the area for your colony to show up, and essentially take over.
I see you. I see you.
Yeah, so it's a
So
fun
like
game.
so Spencer. I
Yeah,
kid, I kid.
exactly,
I kid,
exactly.
I kid.
You show up.
Too soon, too soon.
Yeah.
Viper, you here?
Yes, I am. I am here.
Hey, you made it. I mean, intro always longer than 25 minutes, so you were in the clear already. Go ahead. How is Tales? How is the Trails franchise treating you?
So, it's been amazing. First, I was on PC and Libero with Joshua and Estelle. Got to learn their story. That was three games. I'm in the middle now of Lloyd and Ellie over in Crossbell, and man, Crossbell has been shit, boy. Uh, um, and can't wait to jump into the Cold Steel series. Right now, I'm in the middle of my second run through of Trails to Azure with the Nightmare run, and because playing on the hardest level is a proponent for platinuming all of these games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know me, I really don't do hardest level, but for games that I really enjoy, I'll knuckle down, I'll grin and bear it, and get through it. Um, Almost finished with Azure. I'm happy to hear that Cold Steel 3 and 4 are getting PS5, I guess, ports.
Are they?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Um, and I'm hoping that the cross save between 4 and 5 it works because I'm not gonna wait for them to come out. I'm gonna start playing them, and if the cross save works, great. If not, then I'll be starting them over again. That's how much I enjoy it. I may actually platinum both twice if they don't if cross save isn't a thing.
Damn, the Trail franchise is truly becoming one of your favorite franchise ever.
Honestly, it has surpassed. Okay, the only game I put above it is Final Fantasy VII and that story. Any other game I have ever played, and maybe God of War 2008, but any other game, I've never played The Last of Us 2 all the way through, so I can't really. I know the story's amazing on that. I'm talking about games I fully played, but
Ooh, yeah.
any game that I've played, I have moved this to the top, which is why I'm playing all of the arc nonstop. Um, I'm also glad to hear that Cold Steel is having a fifth game come out as well, but I think that's a little bit later down the road, possibly a year or two. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've also been playing the Crew Motorfest with my buddy that I usually play with, Gran Turismo, and that's a fun game. It really is.
Bro, I'm
Mhm.
surprised to hear so many people enjoying that game because I tried the trial for a little bit
uh,
and I feel like the cars are heavy.
they are. There's like three settings you can change to make that better. And if you play Gran Turismo heavy, you would know what those settings are because it's like it's an arcade simulator, so it has some realistic tuning like Gran Turismo, but not to the extent of Gran Turismo.
This is his way of calling you out, eh? He said, if you play Gran Turismo, you know how to handle it.
I mean, I've been playing Gran
No,
Turismo since
well,
GT1, so
You,
honestly,
you, you got no excuses then,
I only
according to Viper.
I only knew how to tune those because damn, I can't remember his name, but somebody pointed it out to me because it was top heavy, and I kept like weaving back and forth. I couldn't like straighten that back out on the road, and he was like, turn this down, turn it up. You should be good to go." It's like roll center, roll left, candy. It's a bunch of stuff that you would find in Gran Turismo, um, dealing with the car, and it worked out perfectly. So that's all I've been playing. I'm going to be trails. It's going to be trails probably all the way until past Christmas. I would say I'll be finished the trail series by February.
I mean, trail. That's why I keep telling people, bro. Trails. If you're trying to tackle the whole series, it gets crazy, and they just keep releasing games,
I
like,
know.
while you're playing, like, they had Zero and Azure both come out as well as Reverie,
Hmm.
and then they're having some other one come out, which I can't ever remember the name of this one, that apparently only released in Japan prior. They're also releasing that one, and then you're telling me they're giving PS5 versions of these other two of 3 and 4, and then they're also working on 5. Like it's just that company is releasing on all cylinders, man.
And
But yeah,
yeah,
once you
so
start it, you can't stop, man. Like the story is connected in such a way that it's just crazy, and it starts to get like everything connects to everything, like in a way
right.
that just a lot of games don't do anymore. And you really just you basically get to live in that world truly and honestly, and it's just like through a bunch of different people's viewpoints, and that's what stuff like you said, like the Crossbell arc and stuff. Like you get to see what went down before Cold Steel, and why this country don't like this country, and what really happened, because I mean you literally get to be there through every part of the story that they talk about, and it's just
I,
it's crazy.
I have never enjoyed politics so much in my life. I tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Um,
it's crazy. The politicians is something else, and you're right, I can't stand politics, but in this
yeah,
game it's always crazy. Like, oh, that's what you doing, that's what you was running behind they back to do that. Oh, that's crazy. Like,
right.
yeah, it's
And
insane.
you fuck around and find out the most absent-minded fool in the whole game is the mastermind behind the whole fucking project. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Why
Dude,
you
So
dude,
gonna
dude,
talk
don't
like
spoil
that?
it.
Watch
huh,
out! I do
no,
wanna
no,
play the franchise.
No, no,
there's a
no, no.
lot
He's
of
just no, no. You wouldn't pick. You can't pick it out from that.
you
It
can't
doesn't.
pick it out.
Okay,
He's
I
just saying.
hope.
He's just saying.
I hope
Like
a lot of
you're
ahead
like,
then.
oh,
Okay.
that's crazy. That person was it. Like you're not gonna know. Like there's too many.
Okay.
There's too many
Okay.
characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of characters who like they'll introduce one. I remember they introduced one of the main characters way back in Trails in the Sky in the second one, and they didn't really come to fruition and how much of a role they play because you only seen the character like maybe 6 or 7 times. They didn't come to fruition until Azure, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know he was doing all of that the entire time, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay. 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 Anything else you're playing, or that's about it?
that's it. Just the Motor Fest and the Trails games.
Okay, I see you. Okay, as for me, a lot. So first of all, I finished, and I finally finished Dragon Quest Builder 2. Um, I enjoyed it. I really wish it had more moveset to make use of during the combat. The combat is simplistic, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. I enjoy it. The story is fantastic. It's great actually. I truly had a blast with it. Um, the the music is there, but real talk, I played it without any music because I got bored from it. Because real talk, all of it, it's building and fighting, and the biggest aspect, the building aspect of it, can be sometimes so janky it's irritating. Because you're like, you need to literally build a river. I'm not joking. You build your block, you add the water, and because you're missing one area that doesn't have water, you can't continue with the next objective, and you don't know that you're not missing out until you literally flood the entire area with water. It gets irritating on multiple occasions. However, it's rewarding. It's absolutely fantastic to play, and the characters, they are a sight to behold. Um, I never played the first one, so I'm gonna play it later down the road. But this one, I highly recommend. Genuinely, truly recommend. Other than
No,
that,
stop recommending games to me.
I mean, honestly, I
I
had heard that before, but I played part one, and apparently part two is way better. But part one left such a bad taste in my mouth that I refused to play
if
part two.
if part one is bad, then part two is definitely better. Cause I haven't played part one, but I would never then play part one myself if it's way more janky than part two. Cause part two had jank in it, but it was fun. Going back from it, uh, I started. So here's the thing, I'm flying literally tomorrow. So because of that, I didn't want to play a game where I get myself very invested in it. So I started playing the first Descent just for the kick of it, and it's Destiny but worse.
I mean,
That's
honestly,
lit-
nothing I've seen about it looked interesting. I saw a
that
couple people try it.
that's
Which game?
literally the most I can tell you about it. Like instead of new skills, you get a new character that you need to unlock, which it means you need to do tedious uh, hours of cycles fighting enemies to collect resources to create new character. To the point where I'm like, dude, I love you as a character, but your circle suck. It's not worth it. I hardly ever use it. Why can't I have a different move? Like Destiny did it well. And I'm not talking about Destiny because PlayStation bought Destiny, bought Bungie. No, I played Destiny 1 and I played Destiny 2. Every single time you get to shoot between skills. That's how it should be. Yes, some cards. which is basically almost like a skill enhancer. Uh, give you different modification to your skill. Great, fantastic, but that's not how it should be. For me, I don't see myself playing that game. And real talk, one raid boss at level 36. I'm level 40, by the way. Um, and this dude, we don't deal enough damage to him. He keeps regenerating. Apparently, there was a glitch where you could literally kill him in 4 seconds, but the developers thought that was a bad idea, so they fixed it by making him ultra hard.
Yeah,
I
another perfect example why I don't like live service games because they do shit like that all the time.
Dude, no. Making it normal, okay, yes, absolutely. You don't want to abuse the system. I'm all about that. But I'm not lacking when it comes to the weapons. My weapon is a 10k weapon. 10k, 11k, 13k. I should be able to contend with them. But no, apparently there's also a rock paper scissors mechanic where if you use certain weapons against certain bosses, you get a buff. But real talk, I played through the entire uh, game until level 40, and I never even made use of that mechanic. And no enemy was ever that tedious to the point where you're like, I'm done. It's not fun.
Yeah.
I tried it first time. I thought maybe my teammate didn't do enough damage. I tried it the second time. No, my teammate is doing great. I died, they died, we revived each other and all that jazz. And nope. I am like, okay, let me upgrade my shit and try again. I'm level 40, max level. I try, beyond the fact that sometimes you need to sit more than 280 seconds to get into a match where they tell you you need to wait maximum 5 seconds and then or 15 seconds and the match starts. Hey, I know for a fact
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
be
touching
honest.
this head.
I'm gonna be honest. You need to stay away from any game like this in the future because this is just how all they're ever gonna be. This is why I didn't even try First Ascendant because I already knew.
Oh, I'm really hoping that Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is not gonna be like that.
Again, that's not a live service game.
Okay,
That's
yeah, you
completely
really
different.
just said it. My bad, my bad.
Yeah.
There's another one that I'm looking forward to, which is the one with the woman in her mech.
I don't know what
I'm
that
not
is,
sure if
but
it's a live service, but I'm super excited about that. It's an online game. Okay, going back from it. Yeah, First Descent is not it. I played a little bit of Samurai something, which is basically Dynasty Warrior, but with Japanese
yeah, that game's
history.
been out for a long time. Samurai Warriors.
Yeah, so Samurai Warrior 5. Yeah, I'm playing 5. And voice acting, good story is interesting. Because I'm new to the franchise, um, I'm blinking on characters and stuff like that. I'm enjoying the story. Um, and then all of a sudden it gets repetitive in the sense of other characters start having the same build as other characters. But I'm like, why should I use you if you're literally the same character as him? And to make matter worse, um, you you can actually shoot someone else's weapons and make use of it. Where like you don't need other characters, so you get bored with the moveset very quick. And for that, and I've played shit ton of Dynasty Warriors, and I feel like Dynasty Warriors, and I'm talking about the OG, not the new ones. The new ones, God no, the OG were way better. I'm
I
gonna leave it at
mean,
that.
I think we all played Dynasty Warriors at some point growing up. So yeah.
Yeah. And the final game I'm playing right now, it's Pedestrian, I think. It's a puzzle game. You're a
Oh
little
God.
dude. You go you go through small screens and you need to connect them until you can go further. It's very uplifting. It's super basic, but I'm enjoying what I'm playing right now. I'm right now a little bit stuck on a puzzle, but I think I will get through it. Otherwise, we'll see what I do. I mean, it's only what 10 hours before I go to the airport, so I don't want to invest myself in a massive game. I know for a fact when I come back from Lebanon, the first game I'm installing is Yuffie DLC. I need after let's jump right to it. Uh, Tokyo Game Show, Yuffie, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Innate. Even you gotta be impressed. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a ton of the footage that was shown. I mean, the game looks vastly more impressive than the first one. Between the combo skills, execution, the ability to swim. I mean, honestly, they just really seem like they took, what they did in the first game and just leveled everything up, which is saying a lot because, they could have just kind of kept the formula the same and people still would have ate it up. But they look like they've severely just really evolved the game. And everything just looks really smooth. Everything looks really good. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, enticing me to go back and finish remake. Finally, trudge my way through it and really get the story done and push my way out and really get excited to play it. I'm ready. Looking at day one, eyeing the steelbook that Morgan pointed out to me at Best Buy. So at some point, I'll pre-order that to make sure I secure a copy for that. The U.S. cover looks amazing, which is a pretty funny thing that went back and forth on social media for a bit. The U.S. cover looking better than the Japanese cover is very rare.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, the Japanese is almost like nostalgia. They want to hit that nostalgia aspect, but the US cover is looking far better than the Japanese one.
yeah, no, I definitely get that. How can he not hear me? My voice is coming through. What is he talking about?
We hear you.
No, he
You.
says C Fresh can't hear me on YouTube, but my mic
Oh,
is literally like my decibels are going up on YouTube. Like it's like I don't understand
give
how
me
that
a
would work.
second. Let me hear the audio.
Like my mic is
Yeah,
working.
no, I hear you. I hear you on YouTube.
Oh, he can't hear me, but okay. But Viper says he can hear me. I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he said it's low. Okay.
I mean, I could turn
Oh
it. I could.
no. C-Fresh can't hear innate.
Yeah. He says that I'm low, but I'm like my mic is almost in the yellow. Like, I mean, I could turn it up some, but I don't want to be like super loud.
Yeah, because real talk, I call it tried to listen to the audio right now, and I could hear innate loud and clear, and I had it on literally not even half the box volume. So I'm not sure if it's on your end, Fresh, but we're gonna try to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I turned myself
Uh,
up a little bit, but I don't want to go like crazy loud. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm impressed with everything they've shown so far. Like I said, the combat, the stuff with the chocobos, like literally just everything they showed looked amazing. I'm all about the combat, myself. So seeing how they really evolved on the combat and gave everybody combo skills and how they really work together really well and integrate with each other. I've always been a
and
big fan of that.
juggling.
Yeah, like I've always been a big fan of that. That's something that Suikoden does, that I've always loved, which is combo skills. When certain characters are together, they thrive more, um, or potentially not that this will be in that, but typically as they work together more, their synergy uh, elevates and they start to work together better even more. So um, yeah, I don't know. I'm really loving it. That was definitely the highlight uh, of the TGS show. They really kind of came in and took over. That was like the really big major show. But obviously, Eiyuden Chronicles got showed some more. So and the 100 Heroes. So that was big for me personally because obviously I really can't wait for that game being the spiritual
Mm.
successor to Suikoden. So yeah,
If
TGS was solid.
if I was louder, should I turn my mic a little bit down or are we golden now? I'm asking Viper. In the meantime, Morgan, which game grabbed your attention at Tokyo Game Show?
I mean, I didn't really watch much of the Tokyo Game Show outside of the Xbox um, showcase, but definitely Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was
Mm.
definitely the highlight, at least for me. Um, as far as the ones that I saw, just they are going in on the marketing for this game and showing like they're really trying to show how much work they put into this
Mm.
part two, and like, oh, you can swim, you can customize your chocobo. Oh, look at these mini games. Look at they had Cloud on like the Vespa or whatever you call those scooter things.
Oh, the
Mm.
Um,
Segway.
yeah, the Segway. There you go. Like they were just like they were showing a lot. Zephyroth is playable. Uh, like and of course it just looks fantastic graphically.
Mm.
So I'm actually looking forward to it. I need to replay the part one. I played it originally, well not originally, but when it came to like PS Plus, I played. I feel like I got halfway through the game, but then another game came out or something, and I got distracted
Mm.
and I never finished it. So I'm gonna start all over. I have the PS5 upgrade, so that'll be even better with the 60 FPS, and I'm gonna start all over, go through that
Oh, so you bought
whenever I have
UPDLC?
time.
Yeah,
I do
she
not
had
have the
she.
UV DLC.
Oh, I thought you had
I don't
Integrate.
know. I don't think so. Wait, unless it was on PS Plus, because I didn't buy it.
No,
So
I
Oh,
have it,
okay.
and I can pair with you, and you can make use of it.
but yeah, I'll probably play that. God knows when I have some time.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, but if in order to play part two, you gotta finish part one
oh
completely.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna play it before part two comes out. But I'm just saying, like,
Trying to
Mm-hmm.
I
figure
don't
out
know if
when
it'll be anytime
exactly that
soon.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, it'll
that.
probably be later in the year. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna do that, and then I'm gonna play, Integrate, and then because I really want the deluxe edition, so I'm gonna get that with the steelbook. Um, so yeah, that's what I plan on doing because that steelbook is fire. But
Physical over digital, eh?
is it what?
Physical over digital. Oh wait,
Yeah, yeah, when I
yeah,
can.
yeah. Um, Weeb, Yakuza.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Yakuza. My bad. Yeah, I forgot they showed off a lot
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no,
showed off.
with
They showed off a lot
Yakuza.
of Yakuza.
that's
Yeah.
for Weeb. That's why I said Weeb
Mhm.
because I know he's a Yakuza fanatic, and I
Yakuza
tried.
looks so good. Oh my god.
I
Yeah, they
That
haven't
showed a
pizza
seen
lot.
it,
mini game,
but
that pizza
I
delivery
believe
mini
it.
game looks so funny. Like I'm like, yeah, that's something I'd be doing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited for that.
Mhm.
Definitely. That's gonna be my go-to for 2024.
I was like, oh man, that shit looks so good. Yeah.
Yakuza,
Oh
Weeb.
yes, yes. That was the one that blew me away. I mean, I knew it was gonna be great, but what they showed,
Hmm.
man, and the stakes. Oh man,
Yeah,
they better
you
Okay.
not make
getting
it too
Yes.
hard
Yakuza
for
times
you.
two. I know you excited. The Erase Man and that. Oh man, or the Man
Mhm.
with No Name or whatever. Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, definitely. I
Mhm.
love it that in eight is still turn based, but they improved it so you can like move around and with
Mm-hmm.
Kiryu, if you do this like what's called the ultimate move or
Yeah,
whatever,
he can break it.
he can actually break out of turn based. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't
it's
watched the
definitely
gameplay,
awesome.
but I might do so. Um,
You have to watch it. Oh man, you should. You should
It's really
because
I need to
good.
it'll
go back
blow
and
you
watch it because
away.
I have yet
I
to.
haven't watched all of it. I need to go. Yeah, I need to do
I
that.
Well,
have watched.
there's a
That's
lot.
something.
So
I have yet to play 7. That's why.
there's a 5 minute and a 20 minute. So there's two.
Okay, I'm watching the
Oh.
20-minute one. I
Yeah,
gotta. Yeah, I'm doing that today.
yeah.
Viper.
And it will really went all out with it, but it takes place in
I believe
Hawaii
it.
Nice.
for some reason, and they even higher than Trejo. That's a villain.
So you've seen a lot
Yo.
of improvements that made you like you're excited now.
I mean, I was already excited because there is no way I'm not going to be excited for a Yakuza game
Okay,
or like a Dragon
I see
Sequel
you.
now. But what I've seen from it, it looks insane. This gonna blow us away. I mean that I have no doubt that's going to be the GOTY for next year.
I see you. Viper, what game? I know you've been busy with Trails, but have you seen anything that impressed you that you're like, okay, this is my game from the Tokyo Game Show?
Well, I know that as much as I complained about Final Fantasy VII Remake, um, the Rebirth,
Even you?
you know what it took? Watching that black chocobo walk up that fucking, I was like, holy
Oh
shit!
yeah, straight walking up the mountain.
I,
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
and it wasn't like, like it didn't look fake. It didn't look like they just like posted or pasted him up there. He was actually strutting up that
Mhm.
goddamn mountain. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, we doing that? All right, bet. And then I saw the flying chocobo, and then I saw Kate Sith, and all my memories started flooding back from uh,
Ah,
the
this is
original
with
Final.
his nostalgia. Okay, I see you.
So
They
yeah,
found a way to even get you. I see you, because I know you and Nate are the most diehard anti-7 remake out there that I know of. So
like
to hear it from both of you that you are excited about Rebirth, like that, they done their job, don't they? Didn't they?
Yep.
well, the thing was, I played the first one, so I was probably gonna get all three in the series anyway. It's just that anything made after that, I probably wouldn't put my put the money up to purchase it.
I
Um,
feel you.
but yeah,
Um,
they improve on a lot of stuff from the first one, like Nate said. Um, yes, I've already pre-ordered it.
There you go.
nice. I have a question.
Right.
Anyone seen the teaser for Ultima Weapon? Not Ultima, but some type of Ultima
No,
Weapon.
yeah, I saw that. It was swimming underwater. I don't know if that was that's not.
Yep,
I think that's
yep.
I think that's Emerald Weapon.
I think
That was
it's Emerald, yeah. Also,
because
another teaser for Vincent. I
that's the
question
one.
if he is playable or not.
He's not. Square confirmed that him and Sid, two of my favorite characters in the original, the two that I rolled with to the end of the game, will not be playable to the third one.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
I mean, real talk, it's better like that. You know why? Cause
Why?
with 3 they can have bring in new mechanics.
Yeah, true, true. But Sid
And
was the dragoon, that dragoon lance. Oh my god, it's
yeah, also he summoned his airship.
yep. A high wing.
Okay, yeah, going back from it. Okay, so look, um, we all raved about 7 rebirth. I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Is
oh,
this like how can the studio that released 7 Final Fantasy 16 show me this? Like everything I was missing from 16 is in here.
Well,
Between switching characters, between mini games,
maybe
between
maybe
combat that's involving, it's like, wow.
yeah, maybe that's why they did that. They don't want the two games to be similar at all. They got to make a differentiation between the two.
It's crazy that one game that both games are released from the same studio, like or the same publisher. Like it, I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no doubts they're top like top of the line people were working on the remake. Well, maybe they're like not B team, but like the second in line was working on 16.
Yeah. And
So
they obviously tried a different concept. I mean, I've explained to people before that like every time Square kind of does that, the results are usually mixed, which
Yeah.
I mean obviously are. I mean, some people, uh, which I think shows people's age, honestly, which is kind of what they were alluding to. I just don't think they're going to capture as many people as they thought with that whole thing. You know, when he was originally talking about, well, a lot of newer people don't want, they want action, and he related it to like instant gratification and stuff when you press a button, and I was like, I think I think that's a misunderstood concept about what people want from a game. Um, because obviously, although they met expectations, quote unquote, for the first time in their life with Final Fantasy 16, it also didn't sell gangbusters. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't see 10, 12 million sold, which is essentially what they were saying they thought the result would be when they, switched to this mainline action stuff, right? And yeah, some people on the timeline really did dig it, but it's like most of the people I see that really like the game already played JRPGs to begin with. So, or they already liked Japanese character action games in the first place. So it's like they liked both of those games and kind of got a combination of that. And some people just fell in love with it, but it's like they didn't get this, like they thought they were like I don't know, they thought they were going to get this like huge amount of people who typically just didn't play Final Fantasy games, and the game was just going to sell like, Hogwarts Legacy or something. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I was right. Um, so
yeah,
I think that's really kind of what happened. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad game, but it's just not as fleshed
mediocre
out. Yeah,
at best.
it's not as fleshed out as
Mm,
a true Final Fantasy game. And this is why
yeah,
the thing I don't think a lot of people really got into is like that oversimplistic formula and stuff is cool for some people, but that's not you know
what Final Fantasy should be.
yeah, you're
And
missing when you're
when
missing
devil,
Phoenix Downs and all kinds of not the materia, but like the magic in the world and all these other things and elemental damages, and you're removing literally all the things that make a Final Fantasy game Final
yeah,
Fantasy. That's like coming out with a Doom game without Doom guy in it. Like
and
like that makes no sense.
yeah,
Why is it called Doom at that point? Like
and and when Devil May Cry 1 have better weapon
combos
mechanic
and Macomb. Yep,
than Final Fantasy 16, especially you want to tackle the action combat, that's how you know you have an issue.
exactly.
But we don't on six. So look. I platinum 16. Okay, that's why it hurts so much when I see a game that is 7 rebirths. Look, I'm gonna be strictly honest. I'm experiencing 7 remakes as its own game. I'm not remembering memories. I played 7, but that's such a long time that I forgot 80% of it. Do I know that Ultima weapon and Ruby weapon and all that exist? Yeah, I do. I beat them. I think I did. Um, but I am looking at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with my own eyes without the nostalgia. I'm just excited about what I'm seeing. Remove the name Final Fantasy Rebirth, give it a single generic name, Bahamut Revival, and I'm still gonna be telling you that might be my game of the year. That's
Yeah.
at my end. But since everyone and their mother shows Rebirth, I'm actually going with a different game. A game that you, Innate, shared it on our group. Even though I've been excited about this one, they actually gave a gameplay breakdown. This game called Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. Oh my god. This game, it seems to be doing so much from what I love. One, you have two characters that you control or that are with you. I'm not sure if you control them both at the same time or you switch between them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works yet.
Yeah, me neither. Two, one character lives in the normal world, the other seems to be living in the spiritual world. So, environment changes between the two characters, which I love, absolutely love. Three, combat is looking real good. I can't. Like, four, there is actually a depth in it where you need to make choices. Who do you sacrifice? Who do you rescue? Who do you banish? No pun intended. Uh, and six, I'm not sure if it's next gen only, but put this on your list. Look it up. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden.
No,
No
it
Uh,
more.
did
I
look good.
refuse.
I refuse. Yeah, it did look good though. Um, I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know anything about it, so but it looked
I've
good.
seen it before, but this is the first time that
What
they
game are we talking
actually
about?
showed this much gameplay. Back
Banishers.
then, back then it
Oh,
was just a reveal trailer.
Yeah, Banishers New Eden or something. Yeah, Banishers of New Eden. Ghost
Yeah,
of New Eden.
Basher Ghost of New. It's a mouthful, but it's actually in our group chat, Morgan. You scroll up, you see it. I will bring it down. Yeah, from everything I've seen, super excited about it. What, Weeb? Are you gonna complain that I gave you more game to play?
Yes.
Well, don't be a gamer then, I guess. Find a different hobby if you don't like buying more games. But to be fair, you have such a backlog. It's fair. Okay, real talk. Let's jump to the actual topics and let's start. Shout out to Morgan. She is the one that shared this one with me. With this little tidbit of news. Apparently, with PlayStation is doing almost like Sony is giving new PlayStation 5 owners in the USA a free game when they purchase a console. The list is Returnal, God of War Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Miles Morales, Rift Apart, Last of Us Part 1. There is a full list, and okay, so there is also Ghost of Tsushima Director Cut, Demon Souls, Sackboy Adventure, I love Sackboy, Uncharted Legacy of Steve Collection, Death Stranding Director Cut. Real talk, it's a smart move for the new people.
You give people
It
choice off the bat.
mm.
Yeah, it's just why USA
I feel
only.
like they trying to get rid of some skew before they get the next PS5 iteration out here. At least
Hmm.
that's my
Why
take.
I don't so wait, you think they can try to do it of the wait, repeat what you said, Morgan?
I said I feel like they're trying to get rid of like some PS5 stock before the new iteration, whatever the Slim or whatever the hell it's about to be, is coming.
Hmm, I disagree with that because they don't care. You're gonna buy what exists. As long as you're buying a PlayStation 5, it doesn't matter for them if you're buying the new one or the old one or the Pro. Well, the Pro, it's gonna be more expensive, maybe,
I mean,
but
if they companies are weird like that though. They like to still move the original SKU for whatever reason to just lessen the amount out there so that everybody picks up the new one that's looking for, a new one
Hmm.
or whatnot. Because I mean, some people are still waiting. Like, I mean, she was saying her brother was asking her just the other day, uh, if the new Slim or whatever is gonna come out came out, and we were like, no. But we think like a lot of times you'll see companies put out like really enticing deals right before they launch a new SKU, and it's usually to move the old stock. It just enhances the reason to sell it. Like plenty of people are obviously still purchasing PS5s, but you know they try to come out with enticing deals that might have otherwise kept people away. Like, oh, I want this
hmm,
game when I get it, but they only have a God of War bundle, but I want this instead, and now you got that choice. So it's a good move.
Okay. It's a smart move, especially if you're buying a bundle. Like what if you buy Forbidden West bundle and then you get God of War with it?
Exactly.
Win-win. Shout out to Sony Slim. He said they gotta move the stock they have already paid to build, so it makes sense. And he
Yep.
also
Hmm.
added Call of Duty just had a massive sale on Xbox because they're about to lose sales on Game Pass. It's pretty normal.
Yeah,
Okay, I
that's
see
another
you.
reason they do that. Yeah.
I see you.
Also, wait,
Okay.
before we go further on that, there was one more thing I wanted to highlight from TGS that actually looked really good because we got to see more of that, which was actually Persona 3 Reload. That game looks
Oh,
phenomenal. I did
okay.
forget to mention that. That game looks amazing.
I see you. Okay. Um, going on. Anyone have anything else to say about this topic?
Nope.
Okay. The next one uh, is about another studio, another closure, and I'm talking about game like service that closed. I forgot what game, some vampire something, and it's dead in the water. It seems like the industry never learned.
What is it? The
Um,
Vampire Masquerade game or whatever the
no,
fuck it was
no,
called?
no. There is another one.
Evil,
Sick Humor shared it with me and shared
evil.
it on, and I
I think,
forgot which one it is.
What'd you say, Viper? You were cutting in and out.
I think the people who made Evil Dead.
Okay,
Oh
Evil Dead.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you. So there is that. Um, Another news that the founder and former Dead Space co-creator Glenn Schofield is leaving the studio, according to Bloomberg. He is the dude that started the studio that created Callisto Protocol. And apparently, Callisto hitting 2 million is not enough to be like a success.
Well, they projected 5 million, so
If they project, yeah, uh, how? Have you played your game?
yeah. I mean, I think they were underestimating the amount of competition they had to deal with, especially the fact that the original uh, remake was releasing pretty close to their
Yeah,
game,
that's
and then
that.
it's a new IP with an unproven track record, and then it came out and there was a lot of issues, and they had to revamp the entire reload speed animation and a bunch of stuff that we complained about, and it's like especially on a new IP, you get that one first impression,
Yeah,
and a lot of our first impressions were not very good. And then, like we
and
said,
people
they
listen.
fixed yeah, and people listened, and yeah, eventually they fixed the game after we all got the platinum, but yeah, it too little, too late. But good on them. They claim it's not going to affect the studio's progress in the future, going forward, whatever they're working on next.
We will see.
Despite him leaving, so we'll see what they do from here.
By the way, one thing I want to mention is it just me or back then I kept hearing that this is looking more impressive than Dead Space, and people were expecting Dead Space to fumble, EA to fumble Dead Space, and Callisto Protocol to take over. And what happened? The it happened other way around.
Well, I think the game, yeah, I mean, I think the game showed you. Obviously, Dead Space was a remake, so it's pretty much 1-to-1.
Yeah, so
But
they were more
Callisto showed
excited
you.
about Callisto Protocol, and
Well,
because
the problem with
that
Callisto though is that once you actually played it, you realized
yeah
a lot of the failure points in the game.
yeah
Like I constantly complained about his inability to deal with multi encounters, but yet they keep putting you in situations where you were in multi encounters, and you should
mm-hmm.
never be put in a situation in a game where you don't have the means to deal with it because that's bad game design.
I will never forget how I literally had to look up to get help from Elysium about dodging, so I understood its mechanic.
Yeah, only to find out later that you don't even have to time it. You just hold left or you hold right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I did. That's what I did.
yeah,
So again, Callisto Protocol is a game that visually impressive, but that's about it.
yeah.
And this is why it fails, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Because the second you play the game, you knew that you're in a bad for a rough time. It makes you question developers. Did you test your own game? If so, were you aware of what's going on? Did you release it and think unfinished and you're gonna patch it up later? If so, you might have digged yourself your own grave. Um, anyone have anything else to say about this one? Cause it's rough, but hey, that's how the industry is.
Yep.
Okay, so uh, jumping into the big news. First off, Unity, Weeb, take it away.
Well, Unity fucked up because they implemented a new policy, or let's say change the terms of the change the deal, right? Where developers would have to pay for every fee for every time one of their games that uses the Unity engine was downloaded. So, for example, if I buy the game, download it, they have to pay for it. If I delete it and then download again, they have to pay for it again. And that's insane because it's not just there's no way to well control this, but they're also charging the developer directly. So even if you're uh, basically work through a publisher, and essentially usually developers just get like a upfront fee from the publisher. Maybe they get royalties if it like hits a certain amount of sales. Uh, but so they really don't have anything to do with the game financially after they've released it, and now they're basically forced to pay additional license fees from Unity, and yeah, the numbers could go insane. They're they're basically they can't actually track uh, people because of GDPR rules, right? Like who downloaded what, but they're basically saying like they announced this and they're saying like we still have to kind of figure out how we're going to measure this. But it seems like they're also going to include illegal downloads, which you're not seeing any money for, and there are a lot of sort of complicated issues with, for example, like Epic Store deals, right? They have free games every month, and there are actually developers like indie developers who are concerned about this because their games were in an Epic deal deal, right? So they were there for free. They don't get any money from this every time that game is getting downloaded from people who've got that game when it was for free. And there's things like with humble bundles and stuff like that, where a part of that goes to charity. So are they going to be charged for that as well? So it's in the same situation. I think the developer of Call of the Lamb even has announced that they're going to, I think, starting next year, going to remove the game, from all stores, but they're going to delist the game because they're going to have to pay Unity every time somebody downloads it, and for any developer, that's basically it's going to probably cost you more to keep the game there available rather than just delisting it and foregoing any potential sales going forward from that point. And that caused a massive outrage, of course, amongst developers. There is talks about class action lawsuits. There's even legislation going to be changed in the EU, which might be triggered by this, because they want to essentially change the legislation that you can no longer, change the licensing agreement uh, after the fact, at least not unannounced. You would at least have to give like 1 2 years notice for doing so. uh, there's boycotts going on. There are developers saying, yeah, we're going to stop working with Unity. We're going to rebuild our game in a different engine. I think the developer of Terraria has sort of announced that they're going to invest like a couple of 100Ks in a rival engine, and pledge to I think like $1,000 every month going, going to be invested in those engines. Um, yeah, it could potentially be the end of Unity. I mean, they haven't and they haven't turned back on it. They sort of released a statement like, yeah, we hear you, but there is no indication that they're actually going to backtrack this. So it's going to go either either they're going to backtrack this, and yeah, they will have a lot of damage done there because the trust is gone, um, for whatever that's worth. But still, people are never going to trust them again. But to say from a financial perspective, yeah, if you're a developer and you're working with the Unity engine, and yeah, it's also going to cost you money if you have to switch engines. You have to train people with that new engine. It's going to, there's a lot of costs involved in that. So if they backtrack that, yeah, that's probably those developers will stay with Unity. So that's the only way they can sort of damage control this. But if they're going to go ahead with this, then yeah, there is a good chance that Unity might die. And yeah, as for the reasons why they're doing this, it seems to be maybe that they're hitting a point that their current ways of making money isn't cutting it. They may have hit the limit there, and they're trying to figure out some other ways to get additional revenue. I mean, they don't have. Yeah, I mean, that's I suppose also why Epic has the Unreal Engine guys have the Epic Store, that they're trying to do something else so they can make money. But yeah, it's this is yeah a brain dead decision that anybody could have told you that that's never going to work. It's never going to be. Nobody's going to accept this. And I think the only thing they were hoping is there that people sort of would make the evaluation like, yeah, we can do this, or we can yeah, we can switch to another engine, but yeah, that might be more costly than to just pay those fees, to Unity. But it seems to have catastrophically exploded in the face. I think it even hit the mainstream news, so that's how big it was. And yeah, we'll have to see how it develops. But yeah, it potentially could be yeah sort of end times for Unity if this yeah explodes all the way up, and actually developers are going to massively abandon it, and they're going to go through with this then. So I have to wait and see. But yeah, it's an interesting times, I suppose. That's the best way to summarize it. So back to you, Omar.
I sorry, I am my mic muted. Got you. Innate, what's your thought on everything? Because you wanted a piece of the pie as well.
I mean, we pretty much said it all, but the main thing to take into account is that apparently later on, after this bullshit came out, their financials leaked, and apparently they're bleeding damn near 100 million a year
Yeah,
off of staffing costs. So they're like massively apparently overstaffed for what their revenue actually is. So their solution to this, from the new EA executive they brought in, was to try and bullshit people into this absolutely terrible idea of a plan to try and garner a massive increase in revenue, which is not gonna work because that's just bullshit. And like, you
Oh,
can't be charging people per install like that. That's literally insane.
and,
Um,
and
you know.
Nate, you know what the other solution is? Laying people off.
Yep.
So Be damned if you do, be damned if you don't. They got to make up that money somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's their
Yeah,
fault
I
for letting
agree
it
that it's
get this
finance.
bad, though. Like,
Uh,
if you're bleeding damn near 100 million in operation costs, who was
That's a
doing their job wrong in the first place? like, like that didn't happen yesterday. You didn't hire Bob, Tammy, and Mike, and all of a sudden start bleeding 100 million. Like, nah,
no, but
somebody along the way projected
what-
something crazy. You overhired, whether it was during COVID or whenever the hell you did it, and like crazily, and now you're just bleeding just millions, which is crazy.
you know what crazier is? Unity is so popular. Like most of the indies are making use of, most of the breakthrough indies are making use of, most and indies that made both. And when I say made, I mean they didn't put PlayStation or nor Xbox on the map, but they gave them exposure. For Xbox, you have Ori, and for PlayStation, almost every single indie that does well. Heck, even Fall Guy is made by Unity.
with
I
Unity.
question whether both PlayStation and Xbox put pressure on Unity to backtrack, cause they're gonna eat it as well. If and their systems are known for the games, and if you can't find them, that's a problem. Imagine Fall Guy not existing on PlayStation because they removed it. Play of Fire Dev threatened to remove their game. Uh, the game where Morgan sacrificed me. What's that game?
Cult of the Lamb.
Kill the lamb.
Thank you. Cut of the Lamb is also made by them, and they also threatened to remove themselves. So it's
Omar, you do have to be complete there. This is also the game where I made you eat shit.
okay, fair point.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I I
Made him
blanked that
definitely.
out of my memory. Thank you very much for reminding me.
To be fair,
Um,
you
You're
kept
welcome.
asking me
so
for it, Omar.
at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it's massive. Either incompetent again. You go back to that word, or greed, or both.
Bro,
Like
if
innate,
you
you
are
said it.
overstaffed to the point where you are bleeding almost $100 million, that is a management problem. Like something is drastically wrong. Like where I don't know what happened prior. Like if they had like a projection that they were gonna have, like 300 more games on board making games via Unity or something. Like some sort of projection had to change or something. Like there's just no way. Like we're talking $100 million with people, making salaries probably between, anywhere from 60 to 70 to maybe a little over 100K, depending on what their job is for Unity, right? You realize how much overstaffing you have to bleed 100 million on operating costs? like that's crazy. Like I don't they fumbled the bag, and they're trying to get people to make up for their mistake, whoever made this mistake, whether their chief financial officer is what it sounds like. But um yeah, man, that's not the way to do it. And then like we've said, trying to count illegal downloads as well, and just you're just trying to arbitrarily charge, like you're talking about something that they could potentially mess with to begin with, right? Now, imagine if God of War was charged for all the illegal downloads, 20 cents for all the illegal downloads based on what Pirate Bay said. When God of War came out, imagine you were charged 20 cents for each of those downloads, and it was like 10 million downloads or something like that. Now imagine like some little indie company getting charged that kind of money for illegal downloads that don't even contribute monetarily to their stuff, and then also going back and being charged again if I delete the game for some reason and then I reinstall the game. That's crazy. They literally lost their mind. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That I mean, there's no other way to say
agreed.
it.
Yeah. Mm. Morgan, do you have any thoughts on this one?
No, no, they basically said everything.
Okay, Viper.
Nope. I just gave the alternative. Sad to see, but hopefully that they find a different route. That's not the way to go. That's a no go.
Okay,
Yep.
I see you. Um, so there is two ways we can talk about the leak, or we can talk about Jim Ryan. In order to talk about Jim Ryan and talk about the leak, let's go very quick. Global hardware estimates for August. PlayStation 5 sitting at 1.1 million, 1.39 million. Nintendo Switch sitting at 94, 944k. Series X and S sitting at 431. So percentage wise, PlayStation 5 sales up 197%, Switch sales up 1%, Xbox Series sales down 12%. This is for Europe, gaming results for August 2023. PS5 DualSense up sales 170%. FIFA 23 best-selling game. GTA 5 was the second best-selling game. This game is a 10-year-old game. Shout out to Hunter for this information. Next gen player. Um, yeah. Look, yeah, I'm speechless because I knew PlayStation was big, but it's like even with all the negative news, which I forgot to talk about, the CMA, we're gonna talk about next. Um, PlayStation is still beyond massive. Uh, do we ever see PlayStation taking a break in sense of like losing sales and losing ground to Xbox? Morgan?
I mean, it's more gonna be shoot, it's more gonna be half. It's gonna have to be more towards Xbox picking up, some slack more than PlayStation losing. Like Xbox is just gonna have to gain ground. They're gonna have to release better games if they want to increase console sales. 'Cause PlayStation is just on that steady flow. They've earned the reputation and they've got the player base and they got the fans. So it's more so gonna be on Xbox's end to pick up the slack more than it's gonna be on PlayStation to fail. If you get what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I
Got
mean,
it.
that's just
Go ahead, Janae.
that's ultimately just what it is. I mean, PlayStation would have to like cease production of their games
Yeah,
in
it would
order
take a
to fall
lot
behind. Yeah.
for them to fall behind, is what I'm saying. Like it would be more so Xbox having to catch up than, PlayStation falling behind.
Yeah, and then this is what I was telling someone that like the Me Too product doesn't work, right? You have a few fans out here screaming, "Oh, we need to secure this and that and give us more JRPGs and this and that," right? But you're not gaining new fans that way, right? These are people
Hmm.
screaming for they want the toy that the PlayStation fans actually like and support. And very few people are going to gravitate towards on your platform. So securing that for your platform is not going to secure you, you know, 100,000 more sales because now you got Final Fantasy 14 coming to your platform. Oh, you got Octopath Traveler 2 coming to your platform finally. Like
Yeah, they
no.
better play it.
Yeah, like you number one, yeah, like she said, they got to play it. There's a reason Octopath Traveler 2 is not coming to Game Pass. They seen the failure
Yeah, so
that
far, yeah.
was, so it wasn't worth the deal, to happen. and it wasn't worth it on their end to not sell the game, because they seen the failure rate at which people played that game, right? um like you have to, like Morgan said, they need to pick up the slack internally in first party and offer me something different. I don't want to play, and you're not going to convince me to play the games that are available everywhere else on your Xbox. The only people you are getting to do that are the people who already prefer Xbox. You need new people. You need the Starfields, and have the upcoming stuff from Ninja Theory, um, and these other studios to actually start delivering, not just, oh, they're cooking, they're cooking, they're cooking. I keep hearing that, bro. Like, that let them cook moment is gone, bro. Like, I'm hungry. I'm
It's
hungry.
over.
Yeah, it's overcooked at this point. Like, yeah, like, stop it, bro. Like, I'm hungry, and I'm right now. PlayStation, I'm eating. PC, I'm eating. So unless you're giving me a reason, or you're giving people who don't have a PC or an Xbox a reason to purchase one, you're not doing enough. Like in Starfield, yeah, Starfield was going to entice some people, but you can tell the sales haven't really jumped, right? Like, very
No,
few people.
well, it did, but still not
No,
enough.
slight though. But that's because that's one game though. That's what I'm saying. One game is never gonna do it. You
But
need
they
you need
banked on it.
consistent.
They literally put their entire egg in the Starfield basket.
They did.
See, the issue at hand is the same thing that Steve Jobs has been saying before he passed. They are not
Mm-hmm.
creative. They keep buying shit that already exists. They make games that fucking look like No Man's Sky already, which does it so much way better. They need to be able to give you a reason to say, I need to go buy that product. That's their problem.
Hey,
It's,
No,
yeah.
nobody.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Morgan.
No, sorry,
No,
I'm
no,
done.
I wasn't talking. No, it was Piper.
Oh, sorry, Viper, sorry about that. What were you saying?
Yeah, I said that there needs to be a reason to buy the product. There is no reason to buy the product because there's no innovation. They're not doing new things. They're copying old shit or buying older companies.
I feel you. We're gonna talk about it. That's what Jim Ryan said in a nutshell. Um, what your thoughts on how PlayStation is literally dog walking the competition?
I mean, yeah. What else is there to say? I mean, PlayStation will keep doing that as long as keep delivering. I mean, if they don't have any differentiating content there, yeah, that then all bets are off. But the way Xbox is currently, and they don't have any uh, talent or neither Steve Jobs had taste. They just buy things. They just if that doesn't work, or if they can't, you know they will leave, right? That's also that's probably going to be a topic of you. But as Phil said, it's going to leave by 2027 if the Game Pass isn't going to grow it's more than or sufficiently. I mean that's Microsoft. They don't really have that sort of passion that you see with other studios. I mean, yes, I mean PlayStation can fuck up. I mean, they have fucked up in the past, but the thing is, they've learned from that, and if they, as long as they don't go back, fully to that point, that sort of cockiness, as long as they learn from that and stay where they are currently and only go upward, um, well, they're going to keep winning, and the only way Microsoft knows that they can try to beat them is by buying shit, buying everything, and either it's gonna send down everything burning down, or they're gonna learn that that's not gonna work. And I'm kind of, despite the fact that the sort of Activision might be like a turning point in the sense that that's so massive, so the impact is so big that could sort of flip the script there. I, I'd say that they're Microsoft. No, Microsoft. They will probably fuck this up too.
I don't
They'll
believe Activision's gonna be enough. I really don't.
No, that's a yeah, but that's what they're hoping for, right? And yes, we know that they want to basically buy everything, right? That's sort of the
Yeah, we're gonna cover
thing
it.
that
They
yeah
literally bought to buy the Nintendo. Yeah.
yeah. So that's a reality of Microsoft. That's and it's not strange. I mean, like Viper said, that's sort of what Microsoft is all about. That has always been about. We've seen it with everything they've done, and they'll try to break through, and if they can't hit that target, they'll just gonna walk away. And that might be to the future of Xbox, but yeah, it's not going to stop them from uh, you know trying to basically disrupt that market as much as they can and see where that takes them. And that's sort of the, well, I wouldn't say exciting, but sort of the scary part there is that how much damage can they do in the end. But um, I'd say like you said, I don't think it's going to turn things around as they hoped it will. Um, and there's the that's sort of the hubris that Microsoft has. But yeah, basically we'll have to wait and see how that will eventually turn out to be. I mean, like I said,
Yeah,
I kind of know the end game, but we kind of have to see when will that happen, how will that show itself, and what will be the let's say, how will they leave the gaming market behind in the end.
yeah, because especially after the news that we got, CMA buckled.
I mean, we eventually, like I told you, it was going to go through, but that's not the point. What is that going to do for you? Like again, being the Me Too product is not going to get you
It,
anywhere. They're having a conversation right now. Tim Dog's clown ass went live because the deal was going through. You're talking about the deal going through and trying to like it's a major get for you. You're not getting anything out of this deal. You're getting access to the
they
same games
are.
you already
They. He
had.
is. He is clout. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's all they do is clout chasing off the
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
But you don't get
I
the games. At the end of the day, none of that matters if your sales is still trash and nobody wants your product because no one is going to go out there and purchase a $500 box to play the same shit they already been playing. Like they got to get over that shit. Like you
I
got to
truly.
produce what all these 35 plus studios they bought. Like that's the mess they're in, right? Like, and the reason they're purchasing them is we all know because Microsoft's MO is to try and suffocate the competition out of any industry they're in. Like I said, we talked about this. This is why the Zune failed. This is why their phone failed. They could not do what they do in other markets. This is why Mixer failed. Same thing. They couldn't suffocate, Twitch out of business by spending money. So they eventually cut their losses and got away from it. So there's no surprise that whole 2027 comment. But what people don't understand, and some of these people just don't care about, what makes that scary is that between now and 2027, how much how much are they going to be allowed to purchase to what I'm saying, to potentially ruin the third party market or remaining balance in the industry. And let's say they still don't get it and they drop out, where is that going to leave the gaming industry at that point, if they just want to drop out? How, like we were saying, how do they leave, right? If now you've purchased potentially Activision, Crystal Dynamics, and potentially and all these companies between now and 2027, and you still leave because uh, it's not as profitable as you thought it was, right? Like I'm telling you right now, you can't tell me that the way these streaming platforms are getting cancellations, like you could see the percentage. There was a percentage release that talked about the amount of percentage of people canceling subscription services. for streaming, right? Yet all these companies
Apparently,
tried to get in and jump in and thought, oh, we're going to be just like Netflix. Well, not knowing Netflix was not even profitable for years, right? They were just about to see the black when COVID hit. Like they were just finally going to be profitable. But that's how much you have to spend to even get where they are, right? And they're one of the few that hasn't been canceled, and then with the exception of Apple, right? But the reason for the Apple stuff a lot of people don't pay attention to, because every time you buy a new iPhone, they give you a year's worth of Apple TV, so nobody really cancels that. And on top of that, it's only like 6.99 for a month, right? While everybody else is Disney's going up to like 16 or 17. All of them are coming out with ad tiers. What is the first thing none of us want in anything that we watch? An ad, right? Like, you know
yeah,
what?
apparently Amazon is coming with
An
now.
ad tier.
It's like they subscription services is not helping the company.
It's
It's
not.
actually taking it down.
Exactly. Like they're all suffering, and it's like Disney right now, I bet you it's a reckoning going on there. They wish they would have just kept licensing out those damn Disney shows to Netflix and capitalized on, the revenue that they would get from licensing out those shows rather than bleeding money like crazy on Disney, and raising the price is inevitably going to result in people canceling more. Like I said, Morgan's one of the people I know that had the most subscriptions. She just canceled like half of hers, and I don't even have half of what she had, and I'm canceling some of mine. So it's like what do you think is going to happen over time, and what's going to be the solution to purchasing all these things? We just saw how expensive the projections. By the way, I don't know. A lot of people was taking that at face value. That was a projection of what they thought it would cost to get a game in Game Pass. So that's why Baldur's Gate 3 was so cheap, because it's a projection. They didn't know. Um, but if you look at the projection they had for something like what was it, the Star Wars game?
Gotham Knight. Gotham
Well,
Knight, it was 100 mil.
yeah, 100 mil just for that, 300 million for Star Wars, which was crazy. Like, where do you think they're gonna recuperate that money? They're gonna keep charging you more and more, and that's the whole reason why they're purchasing as much as possible to try and
Yes,
put a stranglehold on that market so they can keep feeding IPs in a quantitative state into this platform to keep finding a reason to raise the price on you,
to
because they're
stay
going to get
relevant.
this money back. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Baldur's Gate 3 is outperforming both Star
Starfield.
Wars, Jedi Survivor, and Gotham Knight by a large margin. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
And
mean,
they
they're loving the success.
projected that at a 5 mil. Let that sink in. Shout out to Priscilla. She said, I vote with my dollar. I have no subscriptions. They get nothing from me. Shout out to you. Um, Look, real talk. Anyone have anything else to say about this topic? Cause I really want to jump in with the leak.
No, I mean that's just the reality of subscription services,
Okay.
and they'll find out eventually.
I wanna start. So before I start, shout out to Steve Fresh. He said big third party the publishers want Phil Spencer to cover cost of development and lost sales by going into Game Pass. Yeah, that's what seems to be.
As they
Also,
should.
big games are not hitting Game Pass. Like Cyberpunk have yet to hit Game Pass. Let that sink in.
And they don't
And
need
they
to.
have a deal with a marketing right with CD Projekt Red, and CD Projekt Red had that fiasco where they lost half their shares. Let that sink in, and
And they still sold
didn't
over
hit
20
Game
million
Pass.
copies.
It
So
still
yeah,
didn't hit Game Pass. Um, Going back to it, a massive leak. At first, people were blaming FTC, but turned out it was literally Microsoft lawyers themselves that didn't redact shit that they wanted to be redacted. I mean, I I look, Nate. If you make such a mistake at work, what would happen to you? You hear him? Oh, he's gone. Weeb, if you made such a mistake at work, what would happen to you? Also not? Morgan, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
if I made, listen, if I made a mistake at work, that's that's grounds for firing. Um, like that's a really big mistake. Like those are confidential, um, confidential future plans for a reason. Like those are, you know, not all, as I'm saying, plans change. Like Phil said, plans change, stuff changes, but those type of things, those are let's put it this way, those are things that if they got into the hands of competition, which they are now, right, it could be very detrimental for Xbox and their future plans. Like,
Yep.
those are the kind of things you don't want your competition knowing, like what your next move is, what you plan on doing with the market. Like, I mean, the who you're planning on, or who you were looking at acquiring, i.e. Nintendo. Like, that's a whole other conversation. But it's just like that's the type of stuff you just don't want leaked. That's the type of information that you just don't want out there. And I could tell by the how quickly Phil said something about it, how big of a deal it was. Because I know he commented as soon as he could, because he was on the flight to Japan for Tokyo Game Show. So it happened while he was on the flight. So I'm sure as soon as he touched down, he was just like, "What the hell?" he got this news, and so he tweeted immediately like, guys, don't believe anything you read. Plans
So,
change, focuses change, uh, blah blah blah.
nah, that's a
PR
lie.
speak.
Well,
Look, Morgan, it make me question if he puts himself in a liability because he
I mean,
literally
it's not
said
necessarily a lie.
it
Um,
is
he,
when you say the plans that we shared, the leak is old plans. So why did you share our plans to the judge? You're forced
I
to
mean,
reveal your
I mean,
plans.
remember, they were forced to give out everything, so they had to. It wasn't.
Yes, so if they revealed everything, that means that was the plan. That was not
I
that
mean,
was
it
not.
was a plan at a certain time, but you can always change your mind. Is what he's saying. Like,
There is
that
no
doesn't
shame.
necessarily reflect what their plans are currently, right? I mean, they were talking about getting. It
he,
was like because those were emails from 2020, so it's now 2023, so it's not necessarily that those are still what they want to do
but
right now as a company.
The
here's the thing.
mindset, the
It,
mindset. 1 second, Walter. You're gonna go next to me, right after me. The mindset is they wanted to spend money out of business, and they did it. They wanted to buy Bethesda. They did it. They wanted
Hmm.
to buy Activision. They did it. Like the plan is still moving. If Nintendo said yes, we want you to buy us, they would
Oh
have
yeah,
bought Nintendo. If
of course,
Valve
but
said yes,
but they're not
buy
going
us,
to.
then they would have bought Valve. So basically, what I'm telling you, Phil Spencer tweet is a lie. It's a
hold on.
fabricated lie. Go ahead,
It,
Viper.
here's the thing. So him saying that the plans have changed is complete bullshit, and he can suck a dick. And here's why.
Thank
Oh
you.
wow, okay.
Here's exactly why. So the courts asked them to release all information involving these substances, right? With the purchases and everything. So if their plans change, wouldn't there be emails saying, "Hey, the plans have changed in
Thank
2020,
you.
2023?" They would have relinquished the emails that said, "Look, we are no longer doing this plan. We have changed it." If they don't have those emails, They named this is still the plan. They never changed
If I'm a lawyer at CMA at FTC, I would look at that tweet and I'm like, I'm comparing it to the plans that they revealed. If I'm seeing anything different, I'm calling him. I'm literally going after Microsoft because
I
you literally just lied under oath. You
I just
literally showed stuff that is no longer relevant, and you made it you projected it as relevant.
my whole thing is if the plans did change, I need to see the email saying, "Hey, Satya Nadella, the plans are changing." That's what I need to
Yeah,
see. They
yeah.
don't. They those
See, but
emails.
they're not going to reveal that though, because that's that's showing plans. They
But
don't want
that's
their
the point.
plans out there.
If they were told to relinquish all that old shit, what?
Hmm
Why can't they relinquish the new shit?
Yep,
Well,
yep.
because
Because
they don't want to give the
PlayStation did that.
competition a heads up on what they're doing though. They
No, no,
tell
no.
PlayStation
PlayStation
what their
did
plans
that.
are.
PlayStation was forced to release all their new deals,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
including exclusivity, time exclusivity, all that stuff that we know
We don't know
nothing
all the
about.
PlayStation deals.
Microsoft know now about it because of the lawyers. They
Yeah,
were forced to
we may not know
single-handedly
what
reveal
else.
their card. And Microsoft was too, but now Phil Spencer coming out and said what we revealed is no longer our
I mean,
plan.
but you could say the same thing about PlayStation. Like the plans they revealed. I mean, they could change their minds about certain deals. They could stuff they
They
not go through.
can't.
Their
They
plans can
can't.
change as well.
No, they can't. Because then it should be in the paper.
That's
It should
no.
be
That's
in
not how that works, Omar. No,
it
no,
is because
no,
because
no. It's
they
not.
no because they're
If
literally
PlayStation changed their mind on a deal today, they do not have to turn any papers in
Yeah.
right now.
lady
That's not how that works.
they were in they were trying they bought $1 billion company. They were getting scrutinized. They had to reveal.
Omar.
Yeah, yeah.
If they uh, at that point were asked to hand in relevant emails, and there were emails that stated that they changed their plans, and those were not part of the emails that they released, yes, then they would be in trouble because they didn't comply with the court ordered request.
Hmm
But that doesn't seem to be the case that there are any emails leaked that were not that they were supposed to hand over and didn't do. But if afterwards they change their mind, like if they were asked to give emails over a certain time period, and after the time period they decide to change their mind and change their plans, that doesn't constitute any violation whatsoever. So that's not how it works. The thing is,
Okay, yeah, they do.
with Phil saying this, like plans change, like, well, you can of course be lying because that's one way to damage control stuff. Like, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
don't
hmm
look at it, it's not true, right? But on the other hand, like, yeah, if you're this reveals that you were trying to buy Nintendo by having somebody else initiate a hostile takeover, or at least buying shares and make it look like there was a hostile takeover, and then come in as sort of the knight in shining armor, trying to save Nintendo from evil shareholders trying to buy them. Yeah, that plan is yeah, if it wasn't already canceled before because they figured it wasn't going to work, that's going to be canceled now because Nintendo is now on to them. They know what they're
Oh
planning,
yeah.
and they're never going to trust Microsoft.
It's like I know as soon as Phil got off that plane, he made an immediate call to the Nintendo CEO and apologized. He probably went since he was in Japan. He probably went to Nintendo headquarters and apologized
Mm-hmm.
personally for the contents of that email. Like I was like, there's no way he didn't
If
give Nintendo a
if
call
if,
because
if I
telling
was
them
Nintendo, I would have thrown a dagger through his feet and say, "Yeah, come on,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um.
Like Nintendo is
n-
they are well aware now Microsoft's
yeah,
intention,
I would
And
not be surprised if
regardless of
they
whether
were
Phil
aware.
apologized or not, they at least they know. Like, oh, that's
Yeah,
what
now
your
they
plan
know.
is. Interesting.
And
Yeah. So
PlayStation know now that they want Valve, and they want other
Well,
studios.
Hmm.
They
PlayStation
tried.
already knew because those were think were
Oh yeah.
discussed probably in the
Oh
meeting
yeah.
Yeah,
case.
they wanted to buy also Warner Brother. Nate, you here?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cause I need you with this one. So I'm brain dead. Welcome to tech. Explain to
Yes, you
me.
are.
Microsoft, of course I am. Yeah, I play games. I don't play tech. Microsoft thought it would be having a 30% GPU performance Xbox Series X advantage over the PlayStation 5. We expected that we'll have 30% on GPU performance and a 25% memory bandwidth advantage in terms of real world performance.
I'm
How?
I'm gonna be honest. The fact that they even considered that or thought that at any given time frame is just hilarious to me. I mean, you don't got to be tech savvy to even know how stupid that is to think you're going to come out that far ahead of your competition, who is also working with the same company, mind you. Um, while while they have someone who is honestly capable of, pushing unique tech into their systems, engineering design at the same time. And it's like they obviously severely underestimated what PlayStation was, working with at the time. But it goes to show you just how incompetent some of these people are at the high end level, that, people believe they're infallible and they think they have these remarkably intelligent people who basically can do no wrong, that work for Microsoft, and that they know what's coming at all angles, and this, that, and the third. And the reality is they just don't. Um,
So
yeah, he bungled that terribly.
I I kept it hearing from Thick Humor how that's not gonna be the case. On paper, yes. How can someone like Thick Humor know what he is talking about, among other people, yet actual developer at Microsoft, they couldn't figure this one out where you're like, Microsoft, I wouldn't bank on it. But this is why we kept hearing every single time PlayStation 5 is outperforming Play Xbox. We kept hearing from Digital Foundry, it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case. Even Digital Foundry believes that.
well, here's the issue. It's akin to sports. You want to win, and in winning, you have to put together a product that's winning. The problem is sometimes you can get a team of all the best AAA plus players, and they don't know how to play together. That's what the Xbox is dealing with. They got top of the line shit in there, but they didn't know how to put it together to make it work.
Dude, this, this, this literally gave me brain freeze. Phil Spencer email to Satya Nadella. He actually emailed Satya Nadella with this. If uh, PlayStation 5, Sony PlayStation 5 reveal. Even as I type this, I know I shouldn't, but I can't help myself. We have all lived with 7 years of starting off a generation with a price and performance and messaging disadvantage to PlayStation 4 with Xbox One. I have to admit, this morning when I woke up knowing the PlayStation 5 reveal was today, that the stress level was higher than normal. Now, after almost 12 hours of soaking in their unveil, taking apart their specs, and looking at the community response, I just wanted to say that I'm proud of our team. We have a better product than Sony does. But here's the key part. It's one thing to say they have the better product hardware. He say,
They didn't
not
even have
just
any
in
launch
hardware,
games.
but
Mm-hmm.
equally important on the software platform and services on top the hardware. We have the ingredients of a winning plan. I felt the feedback from the board of directors discussing of being too confident on maybe this was just reinforces that perception. I get the need to be humble, confident, but today was a good day for us. My dude, I know this is just me saying, my dude, you bought a Forbidden West bundle. You played Horizon Zero Dawn. How you gonna look at your Xbox review and think that you have a better product? Put away the hardware. We could wait. What game was showcased that was on the level of a Forbidden West, a Demon Soul, a Ratchet and Clank? What game
Well, to be
showed the
fair,
power? Yeah?
they didn't know about Forbidden West, and none of us knew about it in 2020
No,
when we,
no,
you know.
no. The PlayStation 5 has Forbidden West.
No, no, no,
It,
no. When that
No,
those
no,
bugs were
that
written,
came out in 2020.
the
That was at the
PlayStation 5
launch.
reveal, the end of PlayStation 5 reveal was Forbidden West.
yeah, but
Didn't it?
that
Was
was
it?
like that wasn't the
I
whole
don't remember.
list.
Yes. The PlayStation 5 reveal, it had Demon's Souls, it had Ratchet and Clank, it had Spider-Man, Miles Morales, it had, whatchamacallit, Sackboy Adventure, and
All
it
murder
had
like they were all murder most
Forbidden West. The
right.
end reveal, one final thing before we go. Forbidden West. They show you they show you Aloy, and then they show you at work
Wait,
or
did they?
something like
Because
that.
I thought the state of play was the first time we got to see it.
Am I
I don't
tripping?
remember because
Am I
I swear
tripping?
we didn't see Forbidden West until the state of play.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When he went off of not seeing really anything, maybe he
Yeah,
saw
it was
limited.
just the hardware reveal.
Yeah,
No, the hardware. Wait, now I'm mixing. No, the hardware was revealed with gameplay software. It wasn't hardware only. Remember, they were showcasing gameplay. Wait,
Okay,
did they?
they might have shown it off in 2020. I don't remember, man. This has been so
Real
fucking
talk,
long.
I
I don't
don't
know.
remember. I remember, no, I remember they started off with Miles Morales, and then they showed us Ratchet and Clank.
okay, question.
Okay, yeah, they did show Forbidden West. Okay, my bad. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
No,
I'm not trying to discredit you, Morgan, but it's just what I
No, no, you're
remember.
good. I just couldn't remember because there was like three
That's
showcases.
the
It was
thing.
2020, 2021, and I'm just like I
It's
can't
so
remember
long time
what was
ago
shown.
that you
no question.
forget.
Question.
I
What
yeah,
was the
go
date?
ahead, Viper. What you want to say?
What was the date on that email that was
Yeah, what
sent?
was the date?
Because if it was in January, then there was no way in hell he was able to see all of that. If it was in like October, September, like
It
right
was
before
no, it was sent on March 18, 2022.
Okay, so he didn't see it.
2020, my
and
bad.
We didn't get the announcement of those games till like June or July, so he didn't
exactly,
see those games.
that's what I'm saying. He didn't see
But he
shit.
talked about the PlayStation 5 reveal. This was the
Yeah,
event
because
reveal of.
remember they revealed the hardware, but they didn't reveal like the
But he's
games or nothing like
talking,
that.
but he's talking about the software. How can he talk about the software when PlayStation 5 never revealed the software yet?
Because
Maybe he was
Omar,
confident on his software.
yeah,
I don't know.
he was overconfident. He put together a device that he thought was going to tear the competition up before
But
anything
wouldn't
even came
but
out.
wouldn't if he said I don't know yet what they have software wise,
No,
but I'm
because he's
confident
still
in the
Spencer.
hardware?
No, because he's still Spencer. Not everybody is going to look at
Interesting.
look at proof before they make a claim. Xbox always counts their chickens before they hatch, all the time. They always do that.
Oh yeah, they always do that. Because it's like the PS5s didn't get revealed publicly to us until June. So he must be going off some internal shit that he knew and like
Mm,
all that kind of stuff. Because I was like, it was like halfway through 2020 when we got the information.
mm,
So I don't think he knew about the games like Miles Morales and Forbidden West yet and stuff. Because if he did, I'm pretty sure that tune would have changed. Because it's like you got all these launch games and all the games that they're showing off, that PlayStation is showing off, but then you got Xbox on their side with that launch with fucking Gears Tactics, like that's it. And oh, Falconeer, like come on, bro,
Yeah.
like
See, let me
That
let
shit
me
was
let me
sad.
give y'all an update real quick because I was
Oh
on
man.
Twitter while we having this conversation, and this is the
Oh
shit
god.
I'm talking about, right? Even with
Oh man.
all the capping, all the bullshit, all the game of the generation, ain't nobody stopping Starfield, can't nobody take them. All that talk, right? For months, spaces every day. Guess what? None of that shit matters. Cause Don, what we mutuals, y'all know him, PP Lord or whatever he used to go by. This man just posted. He just came out the spot with a PS5 and Miles Morales. It's about the games. At the end of the day, we see them sales numbers, and
Who
it's
is this
about the
Mm,
done?
games. Hmm?
Who's
mm,
done?
I mean, if you don't know him, it's fine. But my point is,
Okay.
he's a real big Xbox fanboy, and was
Okay.
acting crazy before Starfield came out. Talk about Starfield was just gonna change everything. All the ponies was
Oh
jealous and
man. He
blah
bought
blah
a wait.
blah.
Wait. Hold up. When did he just now got it?
He just now got it. It's on my timeline.
Wait. Whoa. Whoa. He just now got it when the Xbox was just
So
released the game of the
yeah,
Just
generation.
released the
That's
game
supposed
of
to
the
the
last 10
generation.
future,
years.
the future of
He that
gaming
bored with the game
showcase.
that he had to go get a.
The future of gaming showcase was at June, and Phil Spencer's comment was in March. I apologize, I'm wrong, but I'm even more baffled that Phil Spencer would be saying something like that before even seeing what PlayStation is working on.
but I'm
But
Well,
I'm
hey,
okay.
but I'm not though. I
I
told y'all
guess
that like he doesn't know. Like these people have seen games. I told y'all they wouldn't know a good game if it hit them in the face.
no,
yep.
they
Like
did. They don't.
we
Oh
we've
man.
seen that time and time again. Phil over here smiling at the initiatives game and blah blah and this and that and all these games that were supposed to be so amazing. And they're like, look at Phil, just so happy. You know what I'm saying? Look at him out here visiting
Mhm.
studios and just happy with the product. And
Hey,
it's gonna change our lives. And then it releases and we're like, what the hell is this?
This
remember
is
Redfall? He was playing Redfall before it came out. He was
Playing
smiling.
Redfall before it came
It was
yeah.
out,
it was fun,
smiling.
guys.
Remember, he wanted to release uh,
Hello.
Halo in that way,
Mhm.
Yep,
and even when they revealed it, he was happy with the reveal.
exactly.
And this is the okay. So I apologize. I'm wrong
There's
on
a
that
reason
end.
Master Chief ain't the
I truly
mascot
thought,
anymore.
I genuinely thought Phil Spencer is competent enough to at least watch a showcase before comparing it.
Nope.
Yeah, I
But
feel you.
apparently he isn't.
But again,
He's just
I
gonna
told you, you can't compare tech in consoles the way you do PCs, right?
I'm not
Like,
doing.
no, not you, not you. I'm talking
I got
about
you.
period. I don't care who you are
Mm,
because
mm.
you weren't in the engineering room when they were designing it, so you don't fully understand what you're even seeing when they're explaining it, right? Like I told people, like I cannot build a PC for $500 that's going to match the performance you're going to get out of a PlayStation 5. Like it doesn't work that way. Like this stuff is masterfully crafted and optimized to the literally to the metal. Like unlike anything you've ever seen. Like PCs just don't work that way. Now, yeah, it's very obvious that, you know, when you look at my PC, you know, versus your PC, you have a powerful PC now, right? But we know my PC is stronger because it's very blatant what it is, right? There's a naming scheme, there's exact number performance, so on and so forth, and that's it, right? That's all you have to look at. But when you're talking about the specialized tech, 3D audio, atmosphere, the Kraken tech, all this other stuff they combined in the PlayStation 5 to give you this unprecedented experience on a console is crazy. Like you're just not going to match that up, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like them even thinking for a moment that they were just going to just slaughter it with what they perceived as, you know, just T-flops, you know, the way the fanboys did and RDNA 2.0 and it's not going to have this and it's not going to it's just the funniest thing ever. And now you realize how silly that shit was because now here we are years and years into the generation and PlayStation is wiping the floor with Xbox, or they're barely hanging on par. You know, with usually dropping a few frames here and there. You know, with very few exceptions where the Xbox is ahead, and it's like they don't know what to do, but they're talking a 30% increase. Like, I don't think people realize a 30% difference is like an entirely different generation of graphics cards. And
Hmm.
like that's the kind of difference you get in graphics cards. So if you had a 4070 and the 5070 comes out, you're looking for at least a 30% gain in the 5070. That's what you typically want. That and like some sort of new tech, right? Like that's how big that is. That's not a small gap in performance. Like it's laughable that he thought to say that. But that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because they're not trying to compete the way that everyone else is, right? They ultimately, and I've told everybody this, their ultimate goal is to do what they've always done. It hasn't changed. That's why I laughed when he put out that statement saying our plans have changed. No, your plans haven't changed. Like you may be looking at other people to acquire or different, you know, so on and so forth, but the whole goal is to still suffocate and try to buy out your competition. That because that's what they do. Literally in every single market. Microsoft's MO has never changed, and they always have done that. Like, this isn't last Tuesday. This isn't 10 years of data. This isn't 20 years of data. This is 30 to 40 plus years of data showing this is this company's exact behavior. We talked about this with Skype. They couldn't beat Skype, so they bought Skype. But the problem is, and Broken said this the other day on Mooch's show, and we've been saying this, if you are going to purchase a company, you're going to get an acquisition, you should be acquiring them to make them better. And typically, Microsoft's performance with acquiring a company is they are not making them better. And we're here, people want to deny the reports, from the the team behind State of Decay and stuff like that, where they're like freaking out because they purchased them and want them to make a AAA level game, from what they're used to. And it's like, cool, you can do that, but if you're not prepared as the parent company to back them and give them the tools they need in order to make that leap to the AAA market, then your problem is your pipeline, which is what we've talked about. Even Ninja Theory, who, hey, we got more money, we got more staff, we could do more. You keep telling me that, but here we are about to go into 2024, and Hellblade is still ultimately nowhere to be seen. You know,
Real
I,
talk, I
yeah.
think it's gonna be released by 24. They
I mean,
posted an update.
I hope so. Jesus, I mean, it's been so long. Like, when
Hey,
when is it
hey,
gonna
hey,
release?
hey. They released this was the game that was revealed with the play with the Xbox showcase. Like
Yeah,
this was it. This was the definition of why you needed an Xbox.
yeah,
Before we found
right.
out that Xbox is doing PC day one. Look, at the end of the day, it's like this is the same dude that said, let's not get Yakuza. Number one, let's not get Genshin Impact. Number two, again, I can't stress this enough, and people always try to tell me come at me with the excuse that back then they didn't have a lot of studios, so they couldn't have had someone to work on it. I'm like, Phil Spencer prioritized Crackdown 3 over a Marvel IP that he can choose from.
See, I get
Let
the business aspect of choosing that because you own the IP, therefore you don't have to license it and contracts and stuff like that.
but
But to bet it on Crackdown was definitely the wrong IP to do it on.
yes, because you could have clearly told your developers like, look guys, we had a vision, it didn't work. Let's scrap everything. We have right now an uh, amazing chance to make any Marvel IP we shoot from. Remember, that's what people don't know or forget about Insomniac. PlayStation never told Insomniac make a Spider-Man game. PlayStation and Marvel went to no, PlayStation spoke with Marvel after Microsoft rejected them, and PlayStation accepted the deal. They went to Insomniac. They said, "We have a Marvel IP. Which one you want?" and they all unanimously showed for Insomnia, for Spider-Man. It's like, and I listened to the voice to the video from Brian Intihar. Shout out to you, Morgan, for sharing that. Like you can see, you
Hmm.
can hear the excitement in his voice. You don't need to be an Insomniac fan or a PlayStation fan to hear that Insomniac joining PlayStation was the best thing they have ever had.
Yeah, they said they loved it. Like they were excited about it, and ever since they've joined PlayStation, they've just gotten better at being like they've gotten become a better studio, and that the support that PlayStation gives them is it's just perfect. Like it's invaluable. Like it's just they're all they're he's always talking about how much PlayStation supports the studio, and whenever they have questions or they need help or they need resources or whatever, like it's always there, without question, helping them. And he said he said PlayStation and Marvel are just two valuable resources that they have, and because they say it makes them want to be a better studio and put out better games, belonging to PlayStation, just because of their pedigree and you know the type of games they put out and the support they get from them. And we see the results of that, and because of that, now they Marvel gave them another IP to make, and it's like I feel like at this point, Insomniac could probably ask for another one if they wanted to and get it. Like it's just
Yeah,
he's
I
just putting in
mean
that work.
when you're making your best IP to date, and I love Ratchet, I truly love Ratchet, but Spider-Man over Ratchet any day of the day of the week. It, even with Ratchet Rift Apart, I love it, but give me Spider-Man, especially Spider-Man 2. Dude, the amount of stuff that I've seen and I watched 5 minutes gameplay clip, I'm like, they listened to us more than 50 to 65 costumes, none of them behind DLC, mind you, none
Hmm.
of them behind microtransactions, like, and the possibilities are endless. And you have PlayStation Studios creating custom for them,
Listen, over 200 combinations of different suits for the second game. I'm just
like,
like, oh my god.
Hmm.
like, like. This is what happens when you have a developers having fun developing. Also, this is what happens when you have publishers giving developers the freedom to do how they want to do. The trust is there, and I
Hmm.
can't wait. But going back to it, again, Phil Spencer spent on Crackdown 3. And I never played Crackdown 3, but I know the story of what happened to it. How they wanted to make use a cloud infrastructure that was gonna be revolutionary, but at the very end,
Child of the cloud.
it it was taken away from them. So if I'm Phil Spencer and it was taken away from me, I'm like, okay, guys, look, you had a fantastic idea, but it's not gonna work. Scrap it. Let's start something fresh. Here's the Marvel IP. Choose. You want the Flash? You want Hulk? You want whoever you want.
Yeah,
Let's
but see,
get
the problem was that with the number of studios that Xbox had at the time,
That's
not trying to give an
DC,
excuse.
Omar.
Yeah, that's DC. But they didn't really have a studio to make to make a Marvel IP. Like they didn't have
but
any available studios.
who was making Crackdown?
When did who was making Crackdown?
I think the
Shit.
developers that made Sackboy Adventure.
Yeah, and at that point, I think they had invested too much. Like, and they, during that time, they had canceled game after game. Like, what was the game that everybody was upset that got canceled from Lionsgate?
Um,
Scalebound.
Yeah,
Like,
Scalebound.
there
it,
is Scalebound. There is
they were behind schedule with other games. Like, at this point, they hadn't released the game in a while. So it wouldn't have been a smart move for them to just all right, we're gonna scrap this game. We
Real
put like
talk.
60% in, and
No.
get this Marvel IP and have another 4 years development cycle for
I
this other game.
I would have agreed with you if not for the single comments that Phil Spencer made. You know what he said?
Oh yeah, I remember everything you said, but the power of the cloud and all that
No, no,
bullshit. Yeah.
no, no, no. He said, I want Crackdown 3 to sit on the same level as Halo, Gears, and Forza.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting that, but the thing is, can you achieve that?
No, but if you watched the gameplay, you could have known this is not gonna be nowhere near Halo, Gears, and Forza. But for him to say that, it shows you how incompetent he is.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
I
they
mean,
essentially lied anyway. I mean, the game that we saw, the original Crackdown, looks nothing like that. And I told people immediately when I
oh
saw it,
yeah,
and they were like,
it didn't look like the quote unquote gameplay trailer they showed for that.
exactly, with
Yeah.
all the buildings breaking down into little
Look at the
pieces, and
destruction. Oh my god.
yeah,
So realistic.
yeah, and we know how realistic that idea was in the first place because you've tried to use the X Cloud on multiple occasions, and it's still
Yeah,
struggling by today's
that
standards.
shit trash.
Yeah, and that somehow was
Shit is
supposed to support,
trash.
an entire multiplayer game which needs as little latency as possible. And
Mhm.
at the time, you could barely play Pentiment on it, and your internet's perfectly fine. So,
Mhm.
and that's the infrastructure they expected to support, which is another thing for the record that's annoying that a lot of fanboys like to talk about the xCloud, but they don't actually play it. They just talk about it in passing, as in whatever Phil and company say about it. So they're like, yeah, it's so great and it's wonderful and it does this and it does that, and it's like, have you tried it though? Because there's a reason a lot of people don't want to play on it, as compared to the alternative like GeForce Now. Um, it's just
GeForce Now is
like,
amazing.
yeah, exactly, and it's playing wonderful, right? Um,
Mhm.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they got to get that stuff together. But people assume Microsoft's so big and Azure servers are everywhere. And while Azure servers may support Office 365 perfectly fine, Office 365 is not a game. Uh, like
Mhm.
these servers were clearly not ready. They were bogged down during the Starfield launch, so they weren't ready for that. Up to 90-minute wait times. Like no, like never in my life am I gonna sit down at my computer and wait 90 minutes to play a game. That's the future. That's what you're telling me. Even
Oh
if we
yeah, I
had
about to
perfect
say with
infrastructure.
Starfield and everybody trying to play it on the cloud or whatever, people like the fact that you had to wait is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the waiting. Okay, like I played Starfield right on GeForce Now, right when they announced it, and that was a highly anticipated game for GeForce Now. So there was a bunch of people who had been asking for Starfield to come to GeForce Now, and when it finally got announced, I went on there. You would expect, okay, there's gonna be a lot of people on there. It's gonna be a long wait. No, I got on there and immediately got on the game. Like no wait, no issues, no latency, smooth, and unlike xCloud, which plays the game at 30 FPS, GeForce Now it's 60 FPS. So it was
Ah,
just like,
damn. So not
yeah, because
even
GeForce Now,
xCloud is getting that
well, because xCloud
legendary
is
treatment.
the blades for the server are Series X blades, so it's only going to play it like the Series X, and the Series X is
Exactly.
capped at 30. GeForce Now, it's a 480, a 480 RTX
How
graphics card
how
or whatever.
insulting
So
for
it's
your fan base is that, Morgan? How does it feel?
how does it feel to what?
How insulting is it for their fan base?
Oh
Like
yeah.
Morgan, how does it feel? You got xCloud and you're like, xCloud, you don't even help me with what I
Yeah.
need.
I mean,
I
and
need to go to
because
GeForce.
yeah, and because of the deal that, you know, Xbox was kind of forced to make, with these different cloud services, like, oh, the 10-year contracts they kept handing out to all the cloud services. GeForce was one of them, we got a 10-year agreement to give you, our Activision
Mm,
games and our Xbox games to bring to your cloud service. So now all basically, essentially, most of Xbox's games are going to come to GeForce now. So there's just like honestly, there's really no point of me having XCloud
opening
because
an X. Yeah.
yeah, it's just ugh, I'm just disappointed. Like their service could be much better, but I don't know why they're not. Like it's just ugh.
Um, because we covered it. Their fan base don't buy games. Like they're
Well, you would think
genuinely
of
big.
like a company
They're
that's betting on the cloud,
no,
right? They're
they're
putting
not.
all of their future on. That's what they're campaigning, right? Their futures on the cloud,
Yeah,
that they would put, invest in the cloud and make it the best cloud service it could possibly be, so that no other cloud service, you know, out there people might be interested in, but hey, xCloud's the best one. Like, but they don't even do that. So I'm just like,
yeah. But again, their fan base don't care. Their fan base don't
no, they don't.
use. They don't use GeForce. I have never heard
Hmm.
of Jubei or Pharaoh using GeForce.
Yeah, but see
Yet
that
that.
that's the problem
Mm-mm-mm.
though, is that they can get away with subpar efforts when
Yep.
your fan base doesn't care, and that's the thing that we keep telling them is the problem for all these years with them getting these trash games is because they get these constant ebbs and flows where they get one hit game and then like the next five are trash, and it's because no one a lot of them don't want to be critical. They're saying stuff like, well, I'm having fun with it, and it's like, look, bro, you have to be critical. I told y'all I loved Starfield.
They can't
I had a
be.
great
They
time with
can't be.
Starfield, but I had a list of negatives like 15 to 20 long about things that were just quality of life, things that need to change, things that need to be updated, things that are just an outdated or archaic way of game design. I had all kinds of stipulations for things that they need to change immediately because the game can be better and it should be better, and it was immediately acknowledged by the team behind them. Bethesda acknowledged several of the things that I brought up already, and it's like because they see the issues themselves. But it's like
But
these people don't want to be critical. They want to just act like everything is okay, and I'm like, bro, that is not gonna get you anywhere.
Innate. I wanted to cut you off because I wanted to let you know they can't. They genuinely can't. They risk losing partnership with Xbox. That ambassador program is canker for them. It's active like I have seen people losing partnership, and I'm not talking about small people. I'm talking about big people that have big, what you call it, big subscription, big followers, and would get stuff. They actively can't say my game. I enjoy this game, but this what could have been better
Yeah, and that's I mean
because
that's a fault on them if they're stifling
because
if they're stifling
Xbox would
criticism, then they're
remove
not going
them
to be
from the
better.
program. Like I don't follow her. I seen her on Twitter. She was so relieved to be done with Xbox Ambassador program because now she could talk about what she wants to talk about. And here is the kicker: her followers were not happy. Why are you not deep throating Microsoft? She's like, I am not an ambassador anymore. I can say what I want to say without having the risk
Hmm.
of getting kicked out.
Oh yeah, I mean they'll remove you from the ambassador program for any reason.
For anything, which is why I
Yeah, but I'm
have
not
no
talking.
plans
Yeah, go ahead, Morgan.
Xbox account to my Twitter, so they can't remove me from the ambassador
No, it's
program.
not.
I'm
It's
gonna be an
not.
ambassador, but I'm gonna be incognito. All right.
But the thing is with your ambassador, not to disrespect you, but you don't have a big followers. People don't. You don't get
Oh no,
free
people,
shit.
Oh,
people, people.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't
No,
They
matter.
no.
As long as you're an
Why?
ambassador, they can remove you from it, regardless of if you have a low following count or high follow, they'll remove you. It doesn't
Yeah, they'll
matter.
remove you. They don't care
Like,
about
I
that.
know they remove you. I know they remove you if you sneeze. I know that. But with big followers, it's an issue because they're getting free shit.
Yeah, but that hasn't.
And
But some of them don't have to. You don't have to be in the ambassador program to get free stuff. Like there's plenty of people who are not particularly in the ambassador program that still get stuff from them. It's just the problem is that a lot of those people that you typically see are just, the zealots, they just praise it no matter what. But again, I said the problem with that, and people would regret that, is that over time you inadvertently create this echo chamber where there's no criticism, little to no criticism, and you guys just accept whatever comes. And then on top of that, it's worse because because of Game Pass. When the amount of times we've seen, but I wouldn't have played this if it wasn't for Game Pass. And yeah, sometimes that's used in like a positive way where people, they're like, oh, I played this on Game Pass and then I bought it. But that's rare in a sea of, oh, well, this is on Game Pass and I enjoyed it well enough for Game Pass and I'm just gonna move on. And it's like, well, you can't keep having good enough for Game Pass. Like that's the problem. You occasionally have people. The
hmm
funny thing is, you have people supporting it outside of Game Pass, which Morgan pointed out the other day was pretty funny. That people are getting upset.
they're getting very upset.
Yeah, or people are playing something on Game Pass, they decide they like it, and then they purchase it on PlayStation, which I did with Chained Echoes, which is funny. I tried it
Yeah, a couple
on Game
people
Pass and bought it on PlayStation.
posted that they did that. They tried the game on Game Pass, they really liked it, and then they played it on PlayStation. And I could tell, you can always tell when somebody's saying something for engagement versus just sharing what they decided to do. And this person was just sharing what they did, and it pissed the Xbox fan base off so much. They were like, "Well, why would you do that? You played the game on Xbox, you had it on your Game Pass. Why would you go and play it on PlayStation? That's so stupid." And I'm just like, I mean, people, with multiple systems, always at the end of the day have to, if a game is multiplat, have to choose which game or which system they want to play the game on, and it's usually the system that they prefer. And so, if you want to try out a game, from a unproven developer who is trying out a genre that's newer to them, a Souls like Liza P, you don't know whether it's going to hit or not. Of course, you got Game Pass. Why not try it on there? And if you like it, but if you still prefer the controller on PlayStation or trophy system or whatever it is that you prefer, is it not okay to buy it on PlayStation afterwards? Like, or
I
vice
think
versa, Like,
it it comes down to validation.
oh yeah, I
Like
mean, yeah, it's a
I've
fanboy thing.
said it so many times. Like if you told me I enjoyed let's say Demon Souls, I'm gonna buy Dark Souls on my Xbox. I'm like, okay, have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I will
That's literally
I
it.
will let you know. If you buy it on Xbox and let's say Demon Souls 1 on PlayStation had a haptic, you're gonna miss out on haptic. But if that's your preferred platform, have fun. I'm not gonna tell you like, how stupid are you? You should buy it on PlayStation. I'm not like, why
because
should
we
I
because we
care?
don't care. It's not our concern. Like, but
Precisely.
that's the problem though, and that's been the problem for years. This isn't something that just happened overnight, right? This is years and years, right? Where like Morgan, we always talk about this one, and I love to bring this one up because also Priscilla is a huge fan of Tomb Raider, right? When they had Tomb Raider exclusive for a year, I literally forgot the game existed until one day me and Priscilla were at Best Buy, and I was like, "Oh yeah, here's that game that came out, the Tomb Raider, the last one that came out, and it's the definitive edition with all the stuff in it." So I got picked up the one for PlayStation with all the stuff in it, the steelbook, and I got it for like 14.99 on Black Friday. That's how I picked
I
up that
remember
game.
doing the same thing. Not Black Friday, but I had it for cheap.
Yeah, for cheap. And
And
then you get all the content. And I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Because throughout the year, PlayStation was bussing that whole year. So I didn't care. Like, but that's
they
what they don't like because they care about some of the stuff that we get that they want. You know, the constant begging in every single time, Final Fantasy 7 comes up,
I
or
was
even
about
Final
to
Fantasy
say.
16, or occasionally they try to act like they don't care about it, but they do constantly,
Uh,
and they constantly want these things. And for the same time, it was Yakuza as well, and so on and so forth, and all these games that we had. But we ultimately are correct. When you look at the completion rates of a lot of these games, a lot of them are not playing them. It's
oh yeah,
just I
even
want
Life of
it.
P.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah,
Uh,
that's not going to be crazy because I mean it's a Souls game for sure. But
no, but it's still free in Game Pass. Shouldn't you love
I mean, it
be
should have
glad?
a higher play percentage at the very least.
Precisely,
Yeah.
but they don't. It's like I don't. It, but at the end of the day, it's all about you yourself. If you're unhappy with a platform, you should voice your opinion.
Exactly.
But I truly believe they are unhappy, but they can't voice their opinion.
And don't get me wrong,
They
some people are genuinely okay with certain things, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you can immediately tell when someone's lying to you to save face, right? Like
yep.
I told you, like Sonny, who was in the chat earlier, right? He's an Xbox fan. He also has a PC. He's largely admitted, to me, like, yo, I'm mainly playing my games on my PC. He's got a 4080, and I'm like, so why wouldn't you? But occasionally, he wants to chill on the TV and he uses his Xbox, right? But he genuinely plays the brakes off of Halo in its current state, and he likes where it's at. But obviously, he always wants it to be better. But I'm like, cool, bro. You genuinely enjoying that game, and there's no facetious nature or intellectual dishonesty in you saying that. You're just playing it, and you're enjoying it, and you're proving it. Number one, he's got screenshots of him playing it all the fucking time, gameplay all the time. He's not hiding in a corner with his achievements on private. You know what I'm saying? He's openly enjoying this game out in the open, as you should. You know what I'm saying? As we all do to the games that we enjoy. And it's like, to me, I feel like if you're not doing that as a gamer, you're lying. Like, you are lying, bro. Like, if you gotta hide your excitement and what you're enjoying in a game and you're just telling me, like, you're lying. There's too much of that going on. So it's like, yeah, you're right. I don't believe you. I don't believe you really love this game. And the reason I say that is because we found frauds all up, down, left, right in this community that are
Mm-hmm.
popular, that say they love this game. They're gonna put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in it, only to find out they played it for 30 minutes and they cut it off. They don't even like the game that they
Mm-hmm.
they they spouting about. So it's like, you
Yep.
can't be out here telling me Hi-Fi Rush deserves Game of the Year and you touched it for 10 minutes, bro. Like, no. Like,
Yep.
that's literally just being flat out dishonest. Like, and it's like, you could say, I think the game looks good. I think it looks like a wonderful game. This, that, and third. But
Mm-hmm.
telling me factually that you do is bullshit. Like, I mean, I told you that I tried the game and it's not for me, but I think it looks great. I think it looks like a wonderful title. I think it plays well. It's just not a game for me, and that's okay, right? But I'm not praising it to death. I'm not slandering it to death. I'm not
No,
going
no.
one way or the other.
You actually praise games for what they are without being into them. You understand their appeal, you understand what they did to the industry, and you understand just how popular they are of just what they're doing. It's just not for you. But you don't say that's a bad game. You
Exactly.
actually give praise. And
And
at the end of the
Priscilla
day,
said something. Priscilla said something a minute ago because we were talking about the people getting stuff for free. Like she said, free is not free. It's not really free. You just don't
oh
know
yeah.
what the cost is. The cost is hidden. So then, when you mess up, you find out what the cost is. The cost was,
Mm-hmm.
your silence, or your undying praise. But how dare you criticize, because now it's going to cost you. So the cost isn't free. It's just not money.
She said also something else. She said it's oblivious. They are not for quality, they are for quantity. Yep.
Yep.
It always go back to the statements that you told me in it, how what your friend have a 10,000 games and you have, let's say, 1,000 games, and you would rather have the 1,000 game premium over the 10,000 game that are quantity.
Exactly.
Um, anyone have anything else to say about this? Cause I then, oh yeah, I forgot. Phil Spencer also want to buy Valve and Nintendo.
I
Good
mean
luck
that
with
all
both.
yeah, all those are just a joke at this point.
I don't think it's a joke. I genuinely believe like
No, no,
they
no. I'm
just
saying
bought.
the situation
I
is a
know.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel. So my question for you is genuine innate. They just bought Activision. How long are they gonna stay quiet before acquiring a news publisher?
I mean, I'm not sure they'll go for a publisher, but I think at least before July next year, uh, they are going to try and purchase another studio, and I think it's going to be
Okay.
along the lines of potentially Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely that one. What about PlayStation? Do you think PlayStation gonna spawn?
I don't think they're particularly going to respond. I think they may purchase someone between now and that time frame I mentioned, but again, I think it'll be someone that makes sense and someone they're going to get into the fold that is going to benefit from it, which is the most important thing
Hmm.
to me. That
Yeah.
you're acquiring someone who fits, with your team, and they're going to become a
What you're
better
lacking?
studio. Exactly.
That's what Jim Ryan said, but he said it gibberish in sense of he gave an answer, non-answer, is a sense. What I want to highlight is this statement. Jim Ryan, Microsoft has failed with their first wing at Xbox Game Pass, and that's why they're resorting to large acquisitions. Surprised they have so few surprises, considering how much money they have dumped into it. Publishers don't like Game Pass because it kills value. Even Microsoft admitted that. Bungie offers much more at 3.6 billion for PlayStation compared to the 70 billion for Activision. That final line I disagree with. But other than that, I agree with it 1000%.
Yeah. So revenue wise and developer headcount, absolutely not. Like that's a major W for Activision in that case. Like you're talking about someone
You mean
with like
Microsoft?
yeah, well, I mean, well, Activision in general,
Okay, yeah, I feel you.
but I'm saying in favor of Activision versus Bungie. You're talking about 10,000 plus developers. But again, like you said, the problem with that whole scenario and what's going on with Activision and so on and so forth is you're already having trouble managing what you have, and now you're going to acquire this major publisher, and then which has a whole bunch of issues going on, and you gotta once you even get this deal through, you gotta wrangle that all in, see what's going on, make sure you don't tear apart everything, make sure the production pipeline is not interrupted, while also encouraging new IPs, new ideas, and getting rid of the toxic nature inside this environment. It's a tall order, and I honestly foresee them eventually collapsing on themselves, or Activision not being any better off than they are already. Like I don't see a scenario where they can. I feel like Microsoft is in a position to make this better. I think it's just not going to happen. But I mean, we'll see. In the coming years, before any of these deals end, we'll see exactly what happens with Activision. A lot of people are thinking they're going to bring back all these games and they're just going to revamp the brakes off of Activision, and it's all just going to be rainbows and cookies. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how well that works out for
Mhm.
them.
We covered two topics by now. What's your thoughts on both? I'm genuinely curious about your opinion.
Man, what was the last topic? Because I don't know.
Yeah, you zoned out a few bit because you weren't part of the conversation. The last one was how incompetent Phil Spencer is with knowing when a good game, even if it hits him in the face.
Oh yeah, that's clear. I mean, he's not there because he knows his games. I mean, the man failed
So
upward as
why
first.
did he get a job then? Because he used to be the head of something studio before switching to now head of Xbox.
Well, he clearly, his fans are, they love him, right? They want to name their child Phil, right? I mean, that's a level of devotion he has. So I think that's the only reason why he's there. I mean, that's why they know that and in a way it's a golden goose, but not in terms of growing um, Xbox or uh, delivering quality games or making great decisions. No, he's just the guy there that's face of Xbox, and they know that they can't get rid of him because they need him because they know that when they do whatever um, uh, hold they have on the market that's going to diminish. Um, that's the only reason why he's there, in my opinion. I mean, and look, I'm not saying that for an executive, it is all about working the spreadsheets, meeting your targets, that kind of thing, and playing the politics. And I mean, he's a master in bullshitting. So I mean, he convinces
Yes.
millions of fans to buy an Xbox, and so he's a used car salesman, right? That's I think the snake oil salesman, the general impression people have. Yeah, that's the reason why he has the job. But yeah, I mean, in terms of having an eye for quality, for turning things around, and look, I'm not gonna say it's easy to do that as a uh, even if you're an executive a CEO, if you're part of a large organization to turn that around. But on the other hand, I mean, Satya himself sort of turned Microsoft around, right? He turned it around from a software company to a services company to a cloud company, and yeah, successfully. I mean, Microsoft's market value increased significantly under his reign, so it is possible to do so. But Phil is not going to do that, and it might be inherent into Microsoft's DNA that they're not capable of doing it. It seems counterintuitive to the sense that Microsoft is a software company and they should know software, but you know their software and there's games. There are two completely different entities, and one requires a level of creative control. You know, managing. Your studios, giving them the freedom, but also ensuring that there's quality, understanding gaming, understanding the games market, and not just chasing trends or buy instead of cultivating. I mean that's inherent to Microsoft, and that's probably why they cannot get a break there, and their only resort is to buy shit. Um, and second topic was about them trying to buy Nintendo or
Did
Omar.
he cut? Yeah, you cut up. I was listening.
No,
Yellow?
I stopped because I was wondering what the second topic was.
Um, sorry, what did you say?
What the
Yeah, it was
second
about
topic?
Nintendo.
Yeah, it's about
It was
Nintendo.
about Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh,
Hello?
hello.
Can you hear me? No, I thought for a second I thought
I
I
can
got
hear
You're
you.
good.
disconnected.
Viper just left. You're fine.
Yeah, Viper did leave.
You're
Yeah,
yeah, you're fine.
Viper left.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Like I said, I think that's especially now that the that Nintendo knows what Microsoft has been up to. That's never going to happen. I mean, they'd rather sell to Sony now, I think, which is also never going to happen because Nintendo still holds a grudge there, I suppose. But um, it's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, and the thing is, like, even if they were able to, in the sense that Nintendo would want to, etc. I mean, this is never going to fly. I mean, one game console manufacturer is gonna buy the other one. the third place is going to buy it by second or first place, whatever you want to value you want to put on that. It's never going to happen. I mean, if that's going to happen, then all pretense is gone. Then what's the point in having these rules regulations if you're going to allow something like that to happen? So I don't think it's going to
Hmm.
happen. I think that, and even uh, saw somewhere sort of comparing like the value with like the profitability, and it seems like Nintendo is much more profitable in that sense than Sony. So it's not just so depending on how you measure it, you could even argue Nintendo is number one, and that's never going to happen. That a company as Microsoft with its Xbox division is allowed to buy Nintendo. So I mean, uh, yeah, but like I said, it's a hypothetical because with things are now, it doesn't seem like they're in the cat's out of the bag. Like their plans failed. Nintendo's going to take protective measures, and they're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah, with that being said, I agree with you. Morgan, do you have anything else to say about this one?
No, sir.
Then I'm gonna cut to the outro. I think 3 minutes is 3 hours is enough time for innate with this one. Um, Shout out to everyone that came through. Like, yeah, I am gonna be gone for almost 2 weeks. I think, yeah, yeah, 2 weeks. I should be fine. I hope nothing major happens. But knowing the industry, I will not be surprised if I wake up and I hear PlayStation acquired Square or Microsoft acquired Square or something to that degree. Um, Shout out to the gamers, shout out to the real gamers. I genuinely appreciate the real gamers, Frost and Kickrock. Let's get to the outro. Where people can find you?
You can find me on Twitter. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. As the Weave Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and great show. Lot to talk about, and gonna miss you, Omar. And Our Nation.
Other
Automation.
donation it is. Morgan, where people can find you?
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit. Yeah, good show today. A lot to talk about, especially in contrast to the previous weeks. All of a sudden, just news after news hit us. So,
Yeah,
lengthy show, but it's all good. We got the information out there. So, see you guys. Well, I don't know. Are we having a show next week with you gone, Omar?
no, no,
No.
no. I'm actually going to Lebanon tomorrow, and the problem with Lebanon it doesn't have good internet infrastructure. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna even bother. I
Mor-
tried
Okay.
doing so
Morgan
and
is
I couldn't.
asking if he can take over the show, Omar.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
Sorry, I
morning show.
misheard it. What
Oh
did he
man,
say?
the Morgan show.
No, it's
I
all good.
genuinely misheard that. What did he say?
No, he said
Not.
he said about taking over. She's asking if we could just take over.
Oh,
Nah, it's
you
all
wanna take
good.
over? Go ahead.
Nah, I'm good. Too much responsibility for me. But
uh,
we'll see you guys whenever we come back. So yeah.
Hopefully, Innate, shout out to you for coming through as always. Where people can find you.
Yeah, just at the real innate again. Yeah, like you said, shout out to the real gamers, the people who actually love to game the way that we do. You know, shout out to the frauds. We see you. You know, out here
Uh-huh.
trying to sabotage. You
I
know,
don't. I
third
haven't
party.
blocked or muted. I don't care.
Oh no, I see him out here frauding. You know, clout chasing, trying to collect the bag off of the fans out here that really love gaming and really support it. So here's to many, many more years of really great games. And yeah, I'm about to join Morgan here shortly, playing some Cyberpunk, and I'm sure Priscilla is as well. So time to play some
Let's
games.
go.
Peace.
As for me, shout out again. I can't stress this enough. Amazing crew. Shout out to everyone that came through. Shout out to Viper. He had to slither back into his corner. I love saying that every single time he says it. Shout out to K playing Lies of P actually, and not just cloud chasing about it. Um, yeah, the worst thing I read before going live was Starfield looked better than Cyberpunk. I'm like, okay, that's enough Twitter for today. People can find me at Caravan Scorchab on Twitter and gameplay and